Looks like you made it. We've been seeing a lot of each other lately. Well, maybe you and me can make it a regular thing, eh? Well, it looks like we've got some other visitors too. I'm not too sure about our orc friend, or Russet for that matter. Oh, hey, he's the bear-looking native islander. Anyway, I think Doc's about to see some interesting happenings. Monroe too, and Zeb. Well, probably all of them. Yeah, all of them. Well, I'm sure the man in red will catch up with our boys soon. And I hear there might be some family in town. I bet I just made one of their buttholes pucker, huh? Well, guys, it's our fifth game in our Wild West Genesis setting. And I've got with me again my five guys, Caleb, Eric, Matt, Mike, and Clyde. If you want to, go ahead and introduce us to who you're playing. And if you like, go ahead and give me a little bit of what's been on your mind since the incident at the Midland Hotel and Casino Resort. We'll go ahead and start with Caleb.
Playing Monroe. Slender fella, comfortable apparently in the backwoods of nowhere, but as soon as you get him around people, he doesn't know how to act. And he's kind of thinking about that, especially from the very first moments when he arrived at the casino. He was dealing, he needed to go shave. He hadn't shaved in a few days, and it was on his mind, and he's a little anal about that sort of stuff, and he walked right through the middle of a crowd, didn't realize that what he had just stumbled upon was that murder. And even after finding it out, he still continued to go get shaved. And looking back on a lot of that stuff and the people interaction, and something is, in hindsight, should have been as easy to spot as the assistant being in the family somehow. He's really kind of taken back and looking at the situation specifically on he should have done better. And so he's a little disappointed in himself, but all eyes facing Dallas. And in his mind, I know they're there for a couple of reasons, but he came here to try and get Mikey back.
Very good. Matt.
Playing Russet Red. He is a Native American bear man. He is wearing this strange suit of cogs and gears. And what's on his mind right now is a mixture of two things. There is this remaining humiliation that he feels, this failure towards his own people, because last time he had one job, which was to go to basically other natives and get some information from them, and he absolutely failed dismally at that, and he feels like, and that just made him feel completely humiliated. Nothing that he was doing was working, and yeah, so he feels like a failure. But on the other hand, right at the end of that couple of hours, he feels like he had this breakthrough. He not only talked to one of his mortal enemy tribes, one of the members of his mortal enemy tribe actually came up to him and gave him some information that he wasn't expecting. So he feels like something that he did worked. And then with that information, he was able to find this candlestick holder and run down the borders of the casino and show show it off, which he feels was like the clinching moment where the culprit, she broke down upon seeing that, realizing that she wasn't going to get away with it. And so he feels like he did something right in that day. So even though he still has this, I failed my tribe, I failed myself, but I did something right. So that's on his mind right now.
Very good. And Mike.
All right. Well, I'm playing Dr. Joseph Hirsch. Feeling pretty proud of himself for having solved that mystery, regardless of how much he actually had to do with it. But also feeling good just because the weight of coin in his pocket, he made quite a bit of money from both his help and from convincing his compatriots to hand some over. So he's kind of filled his packs with some medical gear and some ingredients to make some more medical gear, and he's ready for whatever comes next. Hoping to do something that will kind of help build his reputation up some more. So he's ready for whatever comes.
Great. Clyde.
Howdy, everybody. I will be playing Zeb. A little weirded out with the whole murder thing. Not as planned as what he was hoping for, but the money that he made from the gambling was great. So I'm happy with that.
All right. And what has been on your mind, Eric? Even if Eric missed our last game, so maybe what's been on your mind since you left Browns Creek?
Well, not much really. Looking forward to a casino. You know, considering his gambling buddy here keeps pretty much talking about gambling and watching him gamble and all that good stuff. Yeah, wanting to try it himself. All during this time, though, he's been asleep in the back of a wagon. Like, y'all solved a murder? That's awesome. What happened?
We just lost Mike. Okay. Well, with that, you have all been riding or sleeping in the back of a wagon across the prairie for days since the stay at the Midland Hotel and Casino Resort. The closer that you get to Fort Dallas, the closer the buildings are to each other and the further they can be found from the rails. You've begun to see dirigibles on the horizon, and at night the bright lights of the city give the effect that the sunrise is always just around the corner. You've even seen, to some of you, it may be a familiar sight, and to some of you, it might be a rarity, but even one of those steam carriages have driven past you going toward Fort Dallas. You know that by the time that you reach the evening, you will also have reached the heart of Texas, Fort Dallas. So you've been riding for a while. You know that right now you're a little bit past midday for your ride, and again, as you by the time that you reach Fort Dallas, it should be evening, late evening, perhaps even dusk. When all of a sudden you hear from behind you a woman shouting out, "Help! Help! Help!" And you see a figure run past you. And this figure seems to be moving very quickly.
I peek out from around the wagon.
Huh?
I'm just like,
Cool, make a perception roll for me then.
what's going on out here? All right. Hold on a second. 1 second.
Make that against 2 purples. Because I love average checks.
One second.
Okay. Well, what are the rest of you doing then?
I think Russet would be drawn to the woman that's calling out.
Yeah, I would be too.
Right, you turn around behind you, and you see a woman dressed very nicely, leaning out of the carriage with their carriage window, pointing, "Help me! Help me! Help me! He's getting away!" Doc is ignoring all of it in his own world.
I think Monroe would see this, and immediately he would kind of have this urge to rear his horse and immediately start galloping after, but with the casino still in his head and not trusting his instincts in situations, he actually just stops and ignores her, thinking that maybe his gut instinct was the wrong thing to do. So
Okay.
he's like trying not to look at him, but he's looking at the other ones.
Esteban, looking ahead, what's going on? You see some of your group look around. You notice that the Doc is just kind of riding along, paying no mind, and there's somebody running away, and they're getting away pretty quickly.
Esteban goes, we might want to help her. She's calling out for help, like just pointing to the lady,
Help!
Is he on foot?
Help!
Is he on foot or horseback?
He is on foot, but is going very fast.
Well, Esteban lifts up his poncho, pulls out that one of those rifles that he took off of one of the gentlemen that when we was at that cabin place, as best as he can, he's going to take a pot shot at him.
All right, you're currently at long range, and that rifle should work at long range. So that is 3 purples.
Is it ranged heavy? Is it ranged heavy though?
It is.
Or okay, all right, ranged heavy. Okay, edgy. 2. 2. Do I get any bonuses for taking aim, or is it 3 purples? 3 purples.
You would get a blue.
A blue. All right, cool. All right, against 3 purples. Wait, there were 3 purples?
Yep, and that shoot. You watch it hit the ground at its feet, and dust flies up, but the creature, the person, the figure continues to run.
I think as soon as kind of being on edge, sitting there not knowing what to do, as soon as Esteban says, I think we should go help him, he has immediately got this thing reared, and he is riding after this guy.
Cool. Then what? As long as you continue to ride, your movement will stay at the same speed. However, as you go after him, you realize that very quickly this road is starting to not necessarily get cramped like a street, but there is traffic on this road, and I'm going to need you to make a riding check. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm going to need you to make a riding check for me.
I think the gunshots pulled me out too. I'm following along.
So first of all, I have to know this before it keeps going on. Who is driving, then, the wagon that Esteban is lying in?
I guess I will. I guess that'll be me.
Okay.
Because I got
So-
my own horse that one time, so I'm riding.
So,
my
Doc,
own horse.
then your horse and Esteban's horses have both been bridled up for this. So you're not down a horse, but it's taking two of them to pull the wagon.
So
So,
would it be Esteban and Zeb's horse?
oh yes, I'm sorry,
I feel
Esteban and Zeb.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
doctor would not be all about that.
And
He handpicked this horse, so it's his horse.
if our friend Jeremy ever sees this, or Lewis, not a single moment was wasted talking about any.
Or
Thing to do with those
Matt.
horses.
Do not forget Matt and
Or
his
Matt.
freaking horse rope math. Sorry.
Somebody
God,
tag them in this game.
God. Rope math.
Yeah, rope math.
We're gonna make a bridge of ropes so my horse. Oh, it was
So
funny at the
let's
time.
see. Starting off, since you're the one going after him, we've already established he's at long range. So Monroe will need a riding check, and it's going to be right now against an easy starting off. But you know that if you don't catch up with this person soon, you are going to you are not going to be able to catch him so easily.
So that's one purple then. Sorry.
All right, it's only one purple. Yep. All right, you are with your successes versus my three advantages. You are able to gain a single range band on him, so now he's at medium range. And I apologize, I'm not. It rather than he.
Okay.
'Cause there's nothing yet to, from what you see, there's nothing yet to describe this person's gender.
Is that a maneuver that just occurred?
No, gaining ground is an action.
Okay, so then I have a maneuver.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take out one of my revolvers and aim.
Okay. Since we're doing this, everybody else that's going to be a part of this, I think, except for Esteban, since he's taken his shot in the back of the wagon already. The other three of you, Doc, Russet, and Zeb, can make a decision on what to do, and then we're going to go into initiative.
I believe I kind of snapped into action. I'm chasing Monroe into whatever he's getting himself into.
Okay, it'll be the same roll then. Make a riding check
Riding
versus
check.
one purple, and it's still going against my three advantages.
Russet has gotten off his horse, and he's tying it up, and he's getting ready to try and calm the woman down and assure her that his capable friends are going after the man and are quite able to catch him.
And with that capable friends, as you're saying that, it's almost as if as you watch this guy running off down this road, starting to bob and weave through the traffic as it starts to get a little heavier, and then you see, just going as fast as he can, trying to keep up and catch, you see Monroe start to get closer, and then Russet calmly kind of slows down, gets off the horse, ties it up, and goes, "My friends will do
we'll have this under control, ma'am. I promise everything will be fine. And as he's saying everything will be fine, you go back to seeing Monroe as dust gets kicked up beside him as the doctor's just riding his ass off, going down there with his 3 successes. So with those 3 successes, you'll be able to move from long range to medium for 2, and to medium for, or from medium to short range for 1. You are very, very close to him. And Zeb.
I'm going to try to do as much cursing try to slow him down the best way I can. Can I try to make some? I don't know if I can curse him to slow him down. I don't think that's within the thing of me to be able to do.
Right now, he is at long and a half.
Right. Okay. Then. Okay. Then I'm going to have to switch from curse to damage, and I'm going to try to make some ice under him.
Okay.
But I know he. Okay. Let's see. What's the range?
What did he just say?
Yep, it's.
I swear I was gonna go like, are you serious?
Okay. I'm making ice. I don't know. It doesn't give me the range on the.
Let's say it's the same range. It's a short range.
Okay, then I'm gonna put in the range to give it 1 range band. So no, that's still.
So that'll put it to medium.
Yeah, and he's at long.
Yep.
Okay, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it. Let's do 2 purple for the range, and I'm going to make it ice.
Okay, so you're rolling against 4 purples.
Yep, might as well try something once. I've not had it up this high yet. Okay. 1 second. The character sheet isn't going to work with me today. Takes it a lot. Okay. Arcana is, okay, 3. Okay, 3.
Hey, while he's figuring that out,
Yep.
since I'm short range, can I see any better, like who this is or what this is?
You know what? You can make a vigilance check on your next turn. You can make excuse me. You can make a vigilance check right now because you are focused so much on writing. You spent your turn doing all of that and trying to get to where you need to be so that your so that you're not able to necessarily focus to do a perception, but you're a natural just kind of paying attention. You can go right ahead, and since you're so close to them in the range bands, there's not going to be any blockage from the people. So it's just 1 purple on a vigilance roll. And through your attempts, my Zeb friend, you fail, and through all the effort of you trying your darndest to make that all work out for you, and you suffer 2 strain or 1 wound.
Okay.
Your choice.
I'll go with the strain. And
Okay.
I fall backwards in the wagon with an ice cream headache from hell.
No, it's 2 strain or 1 wound, not 1 wound this time. Or excuse me, not 1 strain. It's 2 strain or 1 wound.
Right, I'll take the strain. Like I said, because I have to take 2 for casting and 2. I'm back there. I fall backwards with an ice cream headache from hell.
Gotcha. Everybody else, go ahead and get your vigilance rolls ready. Let me make a line. No purples for that roll, remember. And Doc, with your vigilance roll, that you are seeing that this person is not wearing any sort of boots. In fact, what you can see from under this jacket is looks like robotic hands, robotic feet, and a robotic face.
Oh, good. And all we know other than that is that this woman has been saying, help, help.
Correct.
And pointing at the robot running away. Okay.
So, let's see, who's left? Zeb, roll your vigilance roll, and I'll roll mine. All right. So, unfortunately, the doc is has the lowest, but nice. Zeb, how do you want to handle your triumph on your initiative roll?
Well, maybe I did. Maybe my spell didn't work, but maybe I slowed him down.
Let's try to find something more along the lines of that situation, because with that,
Okay.
with the spell having that failure completely, let's make like what could be happening around you. Like you could say when you fell back, you and let's say that maybe you and Esteban, the weight of the both of you turns the cart over. It unhooks it from the horses. The horses kind of stop in the road, but you roll in the way, and the wagon ends up stopping. And there's this big hubbub, but all traffic is stopped behind them. Maybe it makes it so that it's drawn a lot of attention to you and makes it easier for the rest of the group to have to be able to. Or yeah, that's a good one. That there's actually a parade that's coming right at us. Whoa! Who'd have thought? And it makes it so that can't keep running away.
You know what? How about we have a Texas version of Mardi Gras?
A Texas version of Mardi Gras has
Exactly.
something to do. Still has something to do with the fried pig, right?
Right. And it's and it's big floats and everything blocking, slowing him down. He didn't know he didn't know that turning down one of the roads or whatever was going to run him right into Mardi Gras, but it did.
Gotcha. So now there is this big parade turned down the wrong street, and that will definitely slow him down. So we have a PC slot first.
I'm going to take it.
Okay.
So he's slowed down. Is that correct?
It is. There is a whole lot of people in front of him, but not behind him anymore.
Okay. He is in medium range, correct?
Right.
All right. I am going to try and hamstring shot his horse.
He is not on a horse. He is on foot.
Oh, well then him.
Okay. Make that shot versus 2 purples.
All right.
You actually aimed last round, didn't you?
I sure did, and it's an accurate weapon, and I'm going to use 2 maneuvers to aim 2 more times. Actually,
Okay.
I think hamstring shot might be a maneuver. 1 second.
No,
aim
hamstring
twice.
shot should be
Yeah,
your
it is.
action.
Oh, you're correct. All right, so I'm going to aim to add another blue, And against 2 purples,
Yeah.
I'm going to upgrade my check.
Okay.
Using the white coin. Got
Well,
it.
there you go. Those of you playing the home game, that is 4 successes and a triumph.
And an advantage.
You killed him,
And
man.
an advantage.
It does. Hey, hamstring shot does half damage. So it's cool. He's not dead. Right, Jim? He's not dead.
Oh, he's dead. He's very dead.
So how much damage is that then?
Let's see. So it's actually a lot.
Waffle egg.
So each success is, oh man, I guess I could crit on this guy, huh? No, I can't. Never mind. So each success is a point of damage plus my base damage. It is 10, and then you half that, so he took 5.
All right, so he's taken 5.
For the record, Caleb, we don't know that he's done anything wrong yet.
As Caleb, I will respond and say you are correct.
You could just as easily say that with that shot, like you nick him, and he's nicked and starts to go, I'm being shot at. Holy hell.
I think what happens is, sure, I nick him a little bit, and it exposes some kind of, I don't know, it makes the gears a little wonky instead of turning the way they're supposed to, or whatever his insight. Is he made out of gears? Do I know?
You can't tell, but
okay. Well, so
but you as Caleb can use that information.
Sure. And I think what happens is I nick him. It's solid, but it actually fires through and hits the float that's in front of him, and it just starts like gushing this fluid, and it's like spraying out towards him.
So like marking him?
Well, it's basically making him stop, because now he has to, not only is this float coming at him, but now it's like about to make it harder to move. And like, so he's like stopping to try and turn and move. But yeah. And then I have a triumph, right?
Yeah.
Everybody around is like, our hero. Yes. You finally returned. I've never been to Dallas, as far as I know. I just want these people to like me. No, as a triumph, he just looks like super cool. Here's something stupid. This is just funny story. What he actually shot on the front of the float was a big like bottle that was on the front, and eventually the cap was supposed to come off and shoot this spray like champagne, but it never came off at the beginning. So they were just like, screw it, the parade's ruined, and they went ahead and started it, and he shot this thing off, and the crowd erupts because finally the stuff is spraying everywhere like they wanted it to. I know it's fun to me. Sorry.
That's all right. That sounds great. I like.
So maybe I can parlay that into favor with these people, because they're like, yeah, this guy, he saved the parade.
Okay, and let's say that maybe with that story, this guy has saved the parade, and all of a sudden the crowd starts kind of moving away from them, even up to you, and then it'll even upgrade the character's next check, making it even more difficult for him.
Well, he's not going anywhere.
He's going to try.
He's hamstring shot. He can't move.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
I was like, yeah. No.
Nope. He's stuck.
Okay, so what you see then is right up next to you, Doc. You see trying to fix it, like his feet, like they shuffle a little bit, not really going anywhere. And so then what you see happen is that metal hand from on the other side, it puts something in its mouth. You watch its arms go down, put their arms on its hips, push up. The torso literally releases up into the air.
hands hit the ground, and it starts trying to get out of here, but the champagne has made everything so dirty and muddy, and all the people, it's literally trying to pull its own way through, dragging its torso. Next PC.
Yeah, I think Doc's just kind of standing there like, what the hell is going on? I would like to honor my bad roll on vigilance and let somebody else go here, even though I'm closest.
Okay.
I think I'm surprised by what the hell is happening, because I thought I was chasing a guy, and it is apparently not a man.
Somebody else want to take the next PC slot?
Oh, yeah, I'll take it, and I'll kick up the wagon. So I'll be taking myself and Esteban with us.
So you're just going to use a maneuver and a maneuver to get going?
Yeah.
Cool. You'll be able to move from long to medium then. Next PC.
I would like to see how successful I can be in calming this woman down, please, and try and find out some stuff. So I'm sort of like, ma'am, my friends have got this well in hand. You can see everything's going to be okay. Now tell me what happened, ma'am.
All right. Let's set that up as a...
Now, don't forget, I'm a big bear man, so she might not respond very well to that.
Well, you're definitely going to have a black on this roll. Let's see. I'm thinking you're probably going to go for charm on that. So charm, just trying to calm this lady down when she's trying to get some help. It's one purple, but it's also one black.
One purple, one black. Charm being terrible. Might flip. Do I want to flip? No, let's just give it a go. Cool.
All right. You make that success, and she looks at you, and she's startled, but you watch her shake herself out of that. And she goes, "It's my butler. I told him to go take this medicine into town and have it refilled, but I couldn't give him directions before he ran off."
Right on. Okay.
And then you hear, "What was that gunshot?"
So Russet sort of says, "Okay, ma'am, has he been to the shops before?"
"No, ma'am, we're not. No, sir, sir. No, this is our first trip to Dallas, and this is my first time here, and I'm just giving him the directions that I was given." Blasted butler bot.
Okay, I'm sure we'll get it sorted out, ma'am, and we'll figure out what that gunshot was in due time. Now, are you comfortable where you are? Where you're sitting?
Yes, I am. And you watch her sit back into the carriage, and she's just, what a day.
It's gonna get worse in a minute.
Yeah. Next PC slot.
Oh yeah. So the wagon was kicked over, right? Or knocked over, whatever.
No, I used it to make a parade.
Yeah.
You're on the wagon with me now.
And he moved forward into medium range.
Okay. All right. So our favorite neighborhood Orxican uh, pulls the lever on that that rifle again, and he's going to be. And the moment he sees that, because I just see this, because I know Caleb was talking about this fluid, so this fluid washing over him. So the moment, because is there anybody around him that if I misshoot, I hit them?
Yes.
I do not want another incident like it was over there.
Well, yes.
So with that logical conclusion, the Orxican lowers the rifle, and I yell up to Jeb. I was like, "Get me closer!"
So you're going to aim for your 2 maneuvers?
I am going to wait for him to on his. I'm going to aim, but I also want to wait so I don't, so I'm closer to him, so that way I don't want to. Hopefully, people have common sense to get away from the wagon. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, there's a wagon coming. Well, let's get away from it.
Okay.
You call me Jeb one more time, and you're getting pushed off this wagon.
Wait, is it your name, Jeb?
It's Zeb.
Zeb. Okay. Glad, seriously, same thing. Well, you know what, Jeb Clampett, you're Jeb now.
You're getting pushed off that wagon. I see that in your future.
Well, really, honestly, it's like him calling out, Jeb, get us closer. It's like, oh crap, his name.
You call me Jeb one more time. Cool. So next PC slot then.
Suppose that's me.
Yep.
I guess I'm gonna join this party, and I have quick draw, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull my rifle out and take aim and take a shot. Am I still in close range, or did he get short range?
You are still in short range.
So that is 1 purple, or
1 purple, absolutely. But I'm going to upgrade that purple to red because of all the people that are around.
okie dokie. Oof.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, that's a real
Doctor's
good.
a hero.
So you definitely hit, and you have 3 advantages. What's the crit on that? On that rifle?
3.
So if you'd like to crit, you can. You can't at this point. You can't kill it with a crit, but you can have some effect if you like.
What do I roll? I've never crit before. I feel
cool. So all you do is you roll a percentile. You roll the 100, and it can be anything from like the target suffers a strain, all the way up to one of its limbs selected by the GM is impaired until a critical injury is healed, and increase the difficulty of all checks that require use of that limb by 1. You could learn its motivations in the encounter if you like.
I'm not concerned with this roboting.
I don't care what you want to do.
I just want to stop it.
Perfect. That's actually one of the best you could probably do. It's 34 means that it is staggered or is stunned. That means the target is staggered until the end of the next turn. Staggered means the character cannot perform actions, including downgrading actions to maneuvers. So that means it at its next turn gets a single maneuver.
Perfect.
And how much damage is that?
That is 8 plus 2, I guess. 8's on the gun, and then
cool. So 10. All right. You watch as this torso that you are shooting at is doing pretty rough stuff right now. And now we're back up to the top PC slot.
I think Monroe is kind of loving this initial intention because he saw this thing pretty much fall over. At least what he thought he saw was it fall over, and the crowd kind of did a huzzah. He thought it was for him. It was for the front of this float. And but he looks and he's kind of boisterous, and he points back down his gun kind of towards where this thing is, and all he sees is like the front of this robot starting to climb away. And I'm going to say that he falls off the back of the horse. And I don't know. I don't know if I need to take my turn for that. I guess I can push back to the back. I just wanted to say that this startled him a bunch, and he fell off. I don't want to hijack this first spot if somebody really wants it.
Well, you can make that a part of whatever you do whenever you decide to take that slot. So then who's going to take the first PC slot?
I'll take it to keep moving.
Cool. You move. You do 2 maneuvers then, and that'll put you from medium all the way up to engaged with this thing. You have ridden right up beside, nay, past Doc, right up to this guy into the crowd, and you can see. Go ahead and make that vigilance roll for me.
Okay.
In fact, you make it, and everybody but Russet and Doc, because Doc's already made it. Cool. So Zeb, you can see that this cloak is still attached, and that this thing is now a torso. The legs that you have just parked beside are totally made of metal. And when you go, what? And look back up, you can see that the arms are made of metal. The hats come off, and the head is made of metal as well.
I'm on back to the orc. Don't shoot. It's made of metal. We may have made mistakes.
What's that you say? Shoot it? All right.
Well,
can I swerve the wagon to make him have to do something to
you know what?
Up?
If you want to make it so that you're still at short range, actually, you know this, that when you drive up there with him being at engaged, it'll actually be harder for him to shoot that rifle, and he'll still have to use his maneuver to pick up his glaive.
You know what? That's good. Even if I can shake the wagon, I want to knock him on his butt or off the wagon like I told him. He called me Jeb twice.
Jeb, what did I tell you?
I'm going to turn this wagon around right now.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Do that. Can I slam on the brake? I just want to do something to him. Can I
Sure.
You know, I will slam on the brake to make the orc with the gun have to do something other than what he wants to do. I want to knock him off this wagon.
So tell me what happens then, real quick. Esteban, what happens when he slams on these brakes?
Well, Esteban being comfortable at riding, because he's kind of halfway sitting on the back of the wagon. He's been using the side of the wagon, to place the gun on it, kind of helping him to aim it. And when he slams on the brakes, he's not exactly ready for his so-called ally to slam on the brake. So it kind of like knocks him forward, but once it's that moment when you try to like brace yourself suddenly. But when he does, he kind of finds himself falling off the wagon.
Awesome. This NPC now is literally right beside you, and this robot-looking creature. Did you guys? Let's see. Cool. So we know that Zeb figured it out. Monroe, Did you
I'll
roll
be-
to see this?
No, but I will be. I would be happy to interject here if it's not, and I'm not going to affect the robot at all, so I can tell you what my turn is.
Well, actually, the next slot's an NPC slot.
Okay. I feel like he's seen enough of these things that this wouldn't be, once he sees the separation from legs and torso, I think he would probably connect the dots in his head. If I haven't made a check for it though.
Go ahead and make that check. It's only worth a single purple.
Is this vigilance or perception? Because I did aim at it.
Yes, but it's vigilance.
Okay.
Same thing for you, Esteban. Yeah, you're absolutely able to do that. Then, Monroe, that's exactly how you'll be able to pick it up. You watch it literally trying to crawl along, but it's going so slow that in its entire turn, moving away from Esteban, it goes from engaged to short. It's still short range from you, Doc. It is still the same range bands from everybody except for Esteban, who it's now back to short range. Next PC.
Yeah, so I don't want to get in your way, Esteban. You have fun. But he he falls off of this thing after figuring it out, and he kind of stands up and he's like, "Well, shit!" And he takes his hat off and dusts it off, and then kind of puts it in front of me. And he immediately turns around and he starts walking towards the carriage with the lady in it, kind of with his hat in his hand, with a pretty somber look on his face. And I would use whatever maneuver combination it takes to go back.
All right. It'll take you a while since you've been riding.
Cool.
Next PC. Is somebody muted?
Matt, are you still?
Well, like I'm with the woman. Probably the only thing that I'm gonna ask her is, what are these directions that you've heard? Can I get up to my friends and tell them what the directions are, and we can get that medicine to the, so it's not, yeah, that's all I'm doing. So,
All right, Jim, can I just ask you, would I feel like I need to shoot at this thing again? Like, it doesn't seem to be attacking back at us.
Right. Make a mechanics roll versus 2 purple. I love 2 purple.
One failure, 2 advantage.
Failure. You're over there as you are looking at this going, how do I best need to take care of this? You start thinking, okay, let's just pull itself off. Your brain goes into how this thing's got to work, and you're trying to come up with it, and you finally just go, well, damn, I just had to stop it. I don't know what to do.
All right, I guess I'm just gonna take aim and take another shot then. Just want to stop it.
You're still at short, so 1 purple. Change it purple to a red. We're still in a crowd.
Holy shit.
Okay. Well.
Oh my god.
What you did know is you weren't able to figure out just exactly what its protocols were, but you're like, this is just a robot. Aim right at its weak spot, and let's see, you had 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points before any soak. And all of a sudden the parade, yay! Yay! Oh! And
Doc
they're
just takes.
absolutely,
Oh, yes.
a crowd runs up to you, and another crowd will run up to, up to Monroe. Making it a little bit difficult for Monroe, but you are their heroes.
Yeah, Monroe is just kind of keeping his head down. He sees them coming and stuff. And as they come up, it's kind of like when Hank Aaron rounded third base, and the dude comes like, yeah, 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 and Aaron just tried to ignore him. That's exactly what's going on here. He's just trying to head out because he feels like he probably needs to do this, otherwise he might have to pay for the robot, and he's not excited about that. So he's going to apologize to the lady.
So you'll eventually, let's see, let's go back to Russet. Russet, you're back there with the lady, and you have heard cheering explode, and you see a couple of mobs of people, and further down there's a parade float that is still weakly spewing this champagne-like fluid.
Right. So I guess what I'm doing is like I'm not. Yeah, I see all of this hubbub, I guess, but I'm just trying to get the information from the woman. Like, where is the medication meant to go? What is it for? Can I help in any way to get this information? That sort of thing.
All right. So she just looks at you and says, oh, "My father's not been doing really well, and honestly, this is the best we could do to get out here. You see, I'm from New France, and had to come up this way, and it's been a long ride, and my father, he's not necessarily dying, but he could be close, and I hate for that to happen." And she's really just like trying to be polite, all straight up Southern Belle, doing the best that she possibly can, but just like she's totally in bless his heart mode as best as she can.
Okay. And I say, well, you know what? I happen to know a doctor, and I could pay for his fee for you, and he can come and have a look at your father straight away without necessarily and find the right medication for him.
And her eyes light up, and she says, "You mean you'd come back to New France with me?"
Oh, is he there? Well,
yes.
Does Russet know how far New France is? Probably not.
New France is the island directly, or is the state isle directly to the east of Texas.
To the east.
So you've been coming east from all of El Paso, and immediately you go, "You mean I'm going to cross the whole state?"
Yeah.
And you've gone, literally, you've gone from far left to far right, and there's only one way that's further, and it's that if you go from far north to far south.
So Russet says, "Oh, well, I guess that's different then." And I say, "What is this medication that you were looking for? Or maybe we could fit the bill for it. Or I could."
And she says, "Well, I'm not quite certain, but
You see, my father is well, he's not recognized us for a while. He's slipped pretty deep into dementia, and well, this peddler man told me that if I could make it out to out here to Dallas and get to she pulls out a notepad from a bag with her, and she goes, or note, and she goes, green weeds and a Mr. Allie Hackham in Dallas. He could help us.
Russell takes a look at the piece of paper. He feels, do I need to make a check to see whether I reckon that the peddler was having her on, like, or does Russet, or can I just narrate that Russet absolutely does not believe that the peddler was telling her the truth?
Oh, sure, you can absolutely narrate it that way.
Yeah. So Russet shakes his head and he says, "Ma'am, did you pay the man, this peddler man?"
Well, yes. This peddler man is well, he peddles all around New France. I've even heard that he's been up to Oklahoma and even Tulsa once or twice. Had some stories about the girls up there. Said they just can't say no.
No. Yes, I was there. I was there already.
I bought a fascinator off of him.
I'm sure you did. I think, ma'am, I'm sorry to say that he might have swindled you. I don't think. I don't think he was totally above board. Greenweed and
Allie Hackham.
Allie Hackham, yeah. I don't think he was being honest with you. But we will. I'll help you track down the lead, and we'll find out. But I think he might have swindled you.
Doggone it. That's just my luck. And she sits back and kind of begins to pout.
All right. So I think that's enough of it. That's enough of a turn for Russet, yeah. I think.
And about that time, you finally get Monroe showing up.
Yeah, Monroe kind of the last couple of stragglers left him as he got a little bit further away from the parade. But he walks up, and the last thing he hears is her saying something about having bad luck, and he just kind of swallows hard. And he looks at Russet. Ma'am?
Yes.
So I just wanted to be the first one to tell you, because I didn't want you to find out from anybody else. But that wasn't your robot, was it?
Yes. Dumb butler bot run off.
Was he like? I mean, you probably didn't like him, right? If he was just a butler bot.
He's the only person that came with me back from New France.
Oh. Well, he's not going to go back to New France with you.
What? And she leans up and she goes, what happened to him? Did he make it to Greenweeds? Did he find Mr. Allie Hackham?
No. I I mean, I don't know what that means, but his legs, there was
And
a
as you're starting to
crowd.
say this, a train is going by real loud. Big chugga, 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 chugga. And even as your hands are just moving, you're pointing to parts of your body.
So, yeah. Anyway, so there's that.
Well, what happened to. Could you tell me again? I didn't quite get it.
I mean, yeah, like I said, and I assume another train.
Nope, not a train. This time the parade route goes right beside you.
And he goes through all the motions, just being way more lavish this time.
And she's just.
And he thinks that she's like nodding and like understanding. And so he's like rubbing his pistol and he puts it away real fast. And you can see, like, for a moment, the beat drops or whatever on the parade. And he's like, I mean, it was a pretty good shot. And then it picks back up. And so you can't hear him again. And so this time he gets done with the story and he thinks that wanting to hear it again, maybe she wasn't as upset about it. So he kind of takes his hat and hits it over his knee and says, yeah, so, I just wanted you to hear it from me. And he puts his hat back on his head.
And she goes, Sir, I'm frightfully sorry, but I haven't heard a word you said.
I shot your robot.
What?
Oh yeah, me. I'm riding. I collected it, and it's like on the back of the wagon. And me and if Esteban is back on the wagon, we're actually if it's too heavy for us to lift up and put on there, we're pulling it back. And I mean, not even like trying to take care of it. We're just pulling it.
Yeah,
She goes,
Esteban's back
you
there
did
like
what to Butler Bot 300?
He's more like, now you have Butler Bot 150 and other Butler Bot 150.
At this point, Russet, she leans past you, like pushes out the window again in her dress, all the way up to the waist out the window, looking around you and around Monroe. And she goes, what the hell?
Well, in the defense, it's not Butler Bot 300 anymore or 150. I think I found 75. We've got some 75s here.
So, y'all. And now she starts looking like an angry redneck. What'd y'all do to my Butler Bot 300? You shot it?
Yeah, we thought it was, you could have been in trouble, and or perhaps maybe it took something of yours. Maybe, I'm not saying this is your fault, but maybe you should be more careful about yelling at just strangers passing by, or perhaps being more descriptive with your yell. Again, I am sorry, ma'am. And he steps back and puts his head, looks straight at the dirt.
Yell more specifically next time.
Are you actively trying to change her mood, or are you just saying this?
I think, yeah, I would say that, sure, I'm trying to change her mood.
All right. At this point, it's going to be 3 purple and 2 blacks. Because she's further down this rabbit hole of being irate now, and you're the cause of it. Or at least your group is. So 3 purple, 2 blacks.
Against?
Are you using charm to try to do it? Are you trying to?
Yeah, I think I mean, I don't know. I think humility and charm.
Humility and charm.
Gotta be charm and coercion.
You're trying to threaten her.
I'm threatening her. Be like, you better just. Yeah.
You made him shoot that robot, that poor robot.
It was a good robot. I wouldn't have done it. All right.
All right. So let me get to those so it's fun. Come on, page turn. All right. So with those 3 threats, you fail. And you know what? Just because I would rather see it, you're like, and you just kind of fall prone. Okay. I'm going to take it out of the combat one instead of the social one because I want to see her, you literally trying. Ma'am, I'm so sorry. And she just gives you a tongue lash and you're like down on your knees. Just, I'm sorry. Nice try, though.
I just wanted to point it out for those at home. This time it wasn't my fault. The Orcskin did nothing wrong this time.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, Doc still feels like a hero. The crowd's cheering.
Doc still feels like a hero.
It's fine.
So Doc
even knows that woman's upset.
That's funny, Caleb. So what the situation you guys are walking up to, Esteban, Zeb, and Doc, is the tongue lashing that she has given Monroe. And she then looks around and she's pointing at Russet, and then she's pointing at Monroe, and then she looks over and she sees Doc carrying part of it, the head still.
Yeah, got its head, yeah, for sure.
And goes, "You're gonna pay me for my Butler Bot 300."
The whole time she's talking, Doc is like shaking its head so its mouth will move with her voice.
All right. She's totally like not at all pleased with this. And this is great. The man that Russet just said could help her is now giving her hell. And he doesn't know. You and you and you. We spent everything we had to get here, and we were planning on just happening to find our own way back. But you took Butler Bot 300 from me. You are going to pay me for him right now.
Madam, this isn't very ladylike. You do. I mean, we're sorry. I'm sorry about the robot.
Russet pops up and says, "You said what?"
Shh. You say ladylike. She says, "Oh, hell," pushes herself back in there, steps out, and she's still all dressed nice. You watch her tear off the skirt of the dress, and she's got trousers on under it. She then pulls a blouse out from the back, puts it on over it. You see her reach up under, pull out that corset. She goes, "Oh, to hell with ladylike. I'm getting comfortable for this."
Well, okay. In our defense, I had nothing to do with it. But in his defense, when we hear someone out the window hollering for help and then pointing at somebody that was running away, we took it as they were that they had done something for you. Yes, I am sorry that the robot is in many pieces. And hey, at least you could get a toaster. I mean, but mistakes were made.
Mm-hmm. And she goes, 700.
We can do better than that. I will use charm. I will use what I got.
Okay.
Hold on. And I have some. Let me see what this other thing gives me.
Your verse is 3 purple and 2 blacks.
Right. I have this ability that came with the race that I can't find now.
Your character may spend a story point as an incidental. If they do so during the next skill check they make during that turn, your character doubles the strain they inflict or the strain they heal.
Oh, really?
That's the aristocrat.
Well, that ain't worth a damn. I'm sorry, but shoot. Okay, I can't find. Okay, so that's what you said. So I'm not even worried about it anymore.
Are you talking about forceful personality?
I believe so.
Yep, that's what it says.
Yeah, it's for the aristocrat human or whatever that is.
Hmm.
All right. Well, that's okay. Let's see. 3. Okay, I have 3 charm and 3 in presence.
So
So
that's
I'm
going to be 3 yellows.
okay. 3 yellows. What is it? 3
3 yellow, 3 purple, 2 black.
3. Yeah, 3 yellows, 3 purples, 2 black. Okay, come on, work with us. Son of a mother.
You are trying hard. You are trying so hard, man. And it turns out that just basically looking at your rolls, those you fail. Your yellows and your purples canceled out, and those 2 blacks are what caused you to take to have those 2 threats. So with those 2 threats, we'll have you at the Copacabana. With those 2 threats, you will mm, uh, whoever goes makes the next roll with her adds a black dice, another black dice on top.
You know what? Considering it's a black die and I've never been great at social situations, I'm gonna go next. The Orcskin picks him. You know, he's picking him, dusting himself off. He like hearing him yell, and he goes, "Y'all is like," and it just brings back the situation back at about the 3 people he got in a bar, and he looks at her and he goes, "You yelled out for help. I understand," and he's saying this as calm as he can be. He says, yes, granted, destroying your bot is not a good. Is on us, but it is also on you as a consumer, and it's so-called master or whatever you want to call it that you are to this lifeless creature, responsible for it. I says, when you call out help and there is something running off, just, with, no telling what, I says, we as heroes and as law-abiding citizens, I says, we try our best to do the good that we can. I says, matter of fact, I says, Russet here is a deputy. I says, so if he had faith in us because I said we didn't know if it was a life-threatening situation, maybe it had something of value to you. I says, if this was the case, you should have told the deputy, which he would have relayed this to us. I says, but you was all flailing about, about help. And I tell her, I says, besides, I says, at least it wasn't a living creature. I said, it's a robot.
3 purples, 3 blacks.
What is it called? What is it, cutting?
You're going to be going against charm because you're trying to appeal to her better nature.
Her better.
So presence and charm.
All right, hold on. Presence, and I don't think I have presence. Well, I know I've got presence, but I mean charm. Hold on. See, what is it? Social charm. Yeah, I have nothing in charm. All right, 1 die. Here we go. I got 1 die.
1 green versus 3 purple and 3 blacks.
3 purple and 3 blacks.
You can upgrade that if you'd like a chance.
Nah. I'm going with this.
Oh God. Yeah, that's a solid 3 failures and 2 threats. So with those, first of all, sorry it didn't work. And with those 2 threats, it's going to add another black dice to the next person who's working with her. And she said her response is to eyes wide look at Russet, and she says, "Officer, I wish to file a complaint. Destruction of property."
All right. So this is all happening very quickly. Russet pulls out a piece of paper. He has one. And he says, okay, ma'am. You would like to file a complaint. Destruction of property, yes.
And she's just shouting out things like, "That was worth $700. I came here to try to save my daddy's life. And my daddy, he doesn't even know who I am no more. And I'm trying to save his life. And it was me and Butler bought 300 coming into town trying to do that until your friends shoot him up. I demand to be recompensated in for my loss of properties."
Okay, ma'am. I've noted all of that down. Would you like me to punch him?
She goes, "By God, yes, and I want your names too. Because if what they say is true and your friends, I don't know if I can trust any of you, and I might need to go to the local deputy and sheriff."
Yeah, I think Monroe probably takes his hat off and looks at Russet, and he just kind of like leans his face in and winces real hard, like, just like, oh
You
god.
were the one.
Wait. Hold on a minute. I hand him a rock to put in his hand. Now do it.
All right. Yeah, I'll throw a quick punch and
You can either role play it and you can say, let Caleb dictate like his reaction, or if you actually want to roll it, you can add 2 blue dice to it since he's literally putting his face out there and you're getting the free aim. He's trying to make it as easy to be hit as possible.
Okay, Russet doesn't really want to hurt him, but I haven't got my brass knuckles on, and Russet's a bit fed up, to be honest, with all of his friends, especially who was it, Esteban or whatever, that just went and just like completely said the wrong thing. So Monroe's put his face there. Yeah, I'm just gonna punch him. So we'll do that. Because, violence helps everyone. 2 purples against him and 2 blues.
Correct.
Yeah. Cute.
I hope you hit, because with the seriousness of this moment. Well, you crit if you would like to. How much damage does he take, first of all?
6. Here's something that I would like to ask before I say yes, I crit. Is there a way, with all of those advantages, I know, and there's a lot of them, that I can follow the punch through to the guy that just spoke? Sorry,
Esteban?
Esteban, yeah.
Sure, I'm down for it.
Sure. So I follow the punch through with those advantages.
There's 7 advantages in that, by the way.
How many does it take to follow the punch through?
Let's treat it like it was a 2-weapon fighting moment. Caleb, how many does it take to make your second attack?
3, but that would increase difficulty.
I understand. How many advantages does it take to make your second attack? Hit.
I think just 2, actually.
Just 2? So it'll take 2, and it'll no, actually, for 3 you can treat it as if you had you can activate it as if you had it.
All right. So, and then I'll spend the rest by activating knockdown on both. So I knock them both down. So they're both going to take 6, and both going to be knocked down.
All right.
And then I say, here's my name, and I write it down, Russet Red. And I give her the piece of paper, and I let her read it through. And I say, is that everything that you say? And hand it over to her. Hopefully, she's a little bit sated by this showing of violence. We'll see.
And she looks at you, and she sighs, looking down at the piece of paper with your name on it. Looks back up. Y'all aren't going to pay me back for my robot, are you?
Well, I can give you something in recompense. I mean, I wasn't involved. I was here, but I feel somewhat responsible, especially that I gave you an idea that they would salvage the situation, and that's not what they've done. But maybe Doc, and I would look over to Doc. Maybe you and I might be able to repair that robot together. And I sort of, I'll see what he says.
She looks real confused at the two of you because he's still over there using the head as a puppet. And you're saying that you can both fix it. This is confusing.
Well, I was just examining this robot's head this whole time. I think we could fix it.
Both of you make a mechanics roll. In fact, if one of you wants to aid, so let's do that. Who has what's your mechanics skill ranks, guys?
2.
Yeah, 2.
You both have 2?
Yeah.
All right, then who has the higher? What is it? Intellect?
I have 3 intellect.
That would be Doc.
All right. So then you can add a blue Doc. You can make the roll and add a blue dice to it.
And if there's any setbacks, I remove them.
Also, I also have inventor. So like if there would be any blacks, they are not there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then you're both pretty used to looking at this kind of shot up kind of material. It's not like this is broken and just fell apart. This is as if it had been mauled thanks to your group. So there would have been a black on it, but there isn't. And go ahead and make that roll against
I would like
2 purples.
2 purples. I would like to preface this roll by saying that if I don't think I can fix it, I would like to lie about fixing it. It worked out.
All right. You can tell by looking at it that it's probably going to take it'll take the both of you probably about half a day. And by half a day to fix this, that's if you've got all the parts readily available. If you don't, it's going to take you some time to get all of that together to be able to put it together.
Right.
And at that point,
I feel pretty good about at least telling her that we can fix it.
Yeah, and Russell will nod his head and say, "Yeah, we can fix it." it'll take us a little while, but we can do that for you, and we can track down this Ali Hakim fella for you.
She looks at you, and as soon as she says Ali Hakim, she very quickly corrects you, and she goes, Ali Hakim. His name is Ali Hakim.
Right, Ali Hakim. I'll write that down.
At this point, the invisible person in this group, the man who's been driving the carriage, turns around just all wide-eyed and goes, ma'am, do you want me to keep going? And she says, yes, go right on ahead. And you hear him go, yeah. And the horses start moving along. And she gives y'all the stink eye as she drives on by. And we'll go ahead and stop there for a quick break. And see you guys back in about 5. All right. I see everybody but Eric.
I'm here.
Perfect. Then we will have you guys either riding your horses or we will cut to commercial. Now we're coming back from that commercial break. The commercial break has you inside of Dallas, and it is dark. Well, it's dark outside of the city. It is nighttime, but the lights are bright in Fort Dallas. As you walk around, there are gentlemen walking around and ladies who might have a robotic arm, men who may have a robotic leg. They're walking around with their canes, their top hats. There are men literally riding what look to be mechanical horses around. Dirigibles are throughout the night. You see, as you go through the main streets of Dallas, there are trolleys running back and forth, um, slower than the trains, but definitely faster than the overhead gondolas that will take you through each district of town nonstop. And you find yourselves in Dallas. What are you guys doing? What's your plan?
Russett's plan is to find a parts shop, assess what we need, and find what we need to start on this repair.
All right. It may be dark and it may be night, but being in this city of light or the city of steam, there's definitely going to be people hawking their wares and their parts. Go ahead and let's see. Where are you looking to get this information from? Are you trying to just get it from anywhere you can? Are you trying to find some black market parts?
Well, does Russett know that it has to be black market parts? He sees a whole bunch of people walking around with mechanical limbs.
Okay, I was just curious how you were wanting to go about it.
So how Russet would do this is he would go to somewhere that looks like they sell like a shopping strip, something like a trading strip of some sort. He's a trader by trade anyway, like he's a mechanic and he trades in his own anyway. So he would try to find shopkeepers and talk to the shopkeepers about where he might find what he's looking for.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and let's say you can make a vigilance roll. You can make a streetwise roll. You know what? Streetwise. Let's go with streetwise.
Cool.
And because you have some experience with trading, and you can probably use that experience with your trading to maybe make some friends or get some information a little bit quicker by shooting the bull with them for a little bit. So you can add a blue to that roll. And let's say for what you're looking for, it's versus one purple.
Okay.
All right.
I only got an advantage.
So the directions that they're giving you, and you find that maybe you're shooting the bull with them, but as you drop the names of some of the people that you're with, like I said, you're seeing lots of top hats. You're seeing lots of finely dressed people. The names of the people that you're dropping with the traders, find out that name does not have a lot of. It is more. It is less reputable than you once remember it being. And so you're able to find a place, but when you find that place, it is closed.
Okay. I sort of take note of where it is, and
A lot of what would be shops are closing up, and this part of town is getting is emptying out. This commercial district. It's very nice, but it's you can tell there aren't a lot of people who stay here.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
probably live above their shops, but beside that, the first floor of most of these buildings, maybe even the second of some of them, are all lights out now.
Mm-hmm. So I guess the next point of business for us, it would be to find somewhere to stay.
All right. So find someone where to stay. Again, this will be a streetwise check.
Okay.
And Russ, you're pretty much taking the helm here. Is anybody else trying to interject, or is everybody just following Russet going, he'll figure it out?
Well, they might be doing other things. I'm just saying what I'm doing. So
I'm looking for maybe a hotel or a casino.
Hotel or a casino.
Yes.
All right.
Preferably.
Directions around in this town. It's going to be a streetwise check.
Alrighty.
So is it safe to assume that you're all trying to find your way around town right now? Are you all together?
I'm hanging out with a gambler. Yeah, I mean casino, you know. Never been to one.
Doc, Monroe?
Yeah, looking for somewhere to stay.
I think Monroe would probably wander the streets for a little bit, so he's not right away looking for somewhere to stay.
Okay, so then with y'all sharing your plans with each other, because I don't want to leave you in too much of a loop or too much out of the loop, you make plans to meet up tomorrow morning somewhere. Let's say you passed a nice place for breakfast that seems to focus in a lot of baked goods, but there is a meat market further down. It looks like you can get some nice sausages. So then Russet, Doc, Esteban, and Zeb, are y'all together, or is it just Esteban and Zeb? And then
I think Esteban and Zeb are doing casino stuff. I'm not.
Yeah, I've gone looking for a shop with Russet for sure.
Gotcha. So it's still dark for y'all, but you can go ahead and make a streetwise check to find your way. Again, since the two of y'all are teaming up, you can use whoever has the highest streetwise.
I already rolled.
You didn't roll versus any purples.
Whoever's purple?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how many purple?
It's going to be just one purple. See, that's better.
Yeah, I didn't hear the purple. I just heard the streetwise, and then I started rolling.
Yeah, there'll always be one purple unless you're rolling for initiative, or at least one purple. So then what I'll do real quick is let me resolve Zeb first. Zeb, you are able to find a casino, but with that threat, what will happen is that that casino is more than happy to welcome you in, but not your pork friend. So you will have that's the answer that they give you, and you have a black dice on your first roll to deal with them.
Okay. So,
would you like to try to convince them otherwise, or do you want to just try to find another hotel or casino?
How big does this one look?
It's a very nice one. It's a very nice one. You know that Dallas isn't necessarily a casino town, but you have definitely found a casino parlor. It's more going to be there won't be any slots in this. It's all going to be table games.
Even better. You have to let me take my friend in here, and I'm teaching him the finer points of gentleman gaming. It'd be a shame for, to get it around that you would refuse a chance to impart some culture on, and I'll just point at Esteban.
Okay. So you're making a charm skill, and that's going to be against 2 purples. There's going to be 2 blacks. 1 because Esteban's an orc. 1 because of your recent threat. And then I'm going to give you a blue because the idea of impressing culture upon the orc strikes a chord with this guy. So whatever you've got for charm, you've got 3 charm and you've got 3 presents. So it's 3 yellows, 2 purples.
So what this guy got against it put some culture on the
Hold on. Eric, hold on 1 second. I didn't. I'm at 3 yellow, 1 blue, 2 purple, and 2 black.
Yep.
Okay.
And they, the men at the door, look at you and they say, "Good luck. I wish you the best. I hope you win. And, sir," looking at Esteban, you watch him swallow, but he tries to be as polite as possible. He goes, "Let me check that for you."
You're gonna have to give up the glaive. They're not gonna let you in there with that big a weapon.
As Esteban kind of looks at him and go, "What you mean?"
Do you want to learn, or do you want to keep your glaive?
Esteban looks at him and says, "You have to kiss me first."
Well, I'm sure we can find a mule to do that, but
I just look at him. I go, "Well played, sir. Well played. Well played."
And from there, we will jump to Russet and to Doc. Doc, who is looking around, not necessarily being much help, just lost up in all the lights. Doc, probably the way that you came this way. If you rode the train, we can assume that you probably just did not get off in Dallas. You kept right on going until they kicked you off. If you didn't ride the train, then you missed Dallas by a mile.
Yeah.
However, Russet over there with his threat, but a success and a triumph, is ready to school you. So your success, you are easily able to find a place, that is open, that is willing to let you stay. It is not the best way to describe it is wipe everything from your mind about D&D. This is not an inn and tavern. This is a hotel establishment. It is not the Holiday Inn. They will not have a warm breakfast for you in the morning. It is more a place for you to stay. They do, however, have a sauna, and something that they are trying to that they mentioned very more directly to your friend. They call it a heated tub.
Right.
It's a mechanical heated tub.
Cool.
That
And then
sounds unpleasant.
And when they say that and they look at you, Russet, they don't look at your face. They kind of look at your arms.
Yeah. So with that triumph, what I'm wondering is whether this establishment can be especially fine so that it actually impresses Doc with what so I want to impress Doc with finding this place.
Sure, I'm
With
totally
that
down with
drive.
that.
Yeah, I think Doc was kind of just head to the ground, expecting, like, hoping that something else would happen, and then he's very pleased to have.
Like, can there be butlers and you know,
It's like,
fine dining service and
very
everything?
nice.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Like, yeah, I think Doc didn't expect you to pick out a place that is this nice. Is what's going on here.
And
Right.
and Russet, it even turns out the person behind the counter is we'll even go as far as to say that they are another bear.
Oh,
They are this bear is very, very receptive and open to you being here, and even lets you know that the people who own the establishment are very, very open-minded individuals and very inclusive.
that's wonderful. Thank you.
And the gentleman says, "No, my friend, thank you. I have not seen one of my kind in a very long time."
Well, being that he's, and I don't want to take too much more time than this, but being that he's part of my culture and is enjoying seeing someone of his own culture, I sort of say, while we're in town, we're looking for a good shop that sells mechanical limbs and mechanical parts. We've got to repair a robot. Wondering if you might know somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. To repair a robot, in fact, there is a. This is very curious that you come here at this time to ask for this, but there is a place called Flesh and Bone that is owned by, um, I don't know a better way to say this. His name is Jibam Na, and Jibam Na is my cousin. He has recently moved into Dallas.
Well, this surprises Russell because he hasn't seen many of his kind go into mechanical business. Like he thinks he's the only one, and so he's like, "Wow, this." He's a bit speechless. It's like, "Oh well, I guess we'll be seeing your cousin tomorrow." Thank you. And what is your name, sir?
They call me Shoes.
Shoes.
Shoes. And he steps out from behind the concierge counter, and you see that he has a very oddly shaped but beautifully crafted pair of shiny patent leather shoes.
All right, beautifully crafted shoes.
Like he is taking, you can tell it's like to go around his bare feet, literally in both ways. They are shaped to fit him, specially made for him, and you can tell that he takes very good care of his shoes.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. How much will it be for a room for myself and my friend here?
Oh, it's only going to be about, see, for the both of you. Are you wanting a double, my brother, or are you wanting your own rooms?
I have a feeling that Doc likes his own space, so I'm going to ask for separate rooms.
Oh, very good, very good. That'll be a whole $20, sir.
Okay, I hand it over.
Doc is impressed so much by this place that he's going to pay for both rooms.
Oh, Sweet.
Is it 20, Jim?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
And y'all are set up with rooms that are on the third floor, and there are even these fancy elevators like at the Midland Hotel, Casino, and Resort.
I was going to say also, Matt, it might be worth remembering that you basically paid for that yourself by giving me part of your money last game.
I gave you the lion's share as well, yeah.
But
Good.
Doc thinks of it as like, oh, I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah. That's so good.
Then, so you guys go into your room. We go back out to the streets as they are less crowded, or maybe more crowded, wherever Monroe may be.
So Monroe would probably follow the noise of whatever is out there. If he sees, people seeming to head in a single direction, or if he hears sounds off in the distance of whatever social activity might be going on, if the shops are closing down. I think he might even see the casinos and walk past those and continue further down. Do I need to roll something here?
Not until you tell me what you're doing.
Well, so I
Or-
don't know what he's looking for just yet. I think he's looking for a place to go that would be of some sort of entertainment value that's more than just a bar. He hasn't been to Dallas, so if things on his mind, he's like, oh man, I've been to some big cities and I've seen some stuff. I've been in a place where there was a fair going on, so I went to the fair. I've been to a place where there was a big sporting event going on of some kind.
Okay.
So being Dallas, being the heart of Texas, he assumes that there could be anything going on. So I think what he's looking for is just something to kind of catch his eye and give him interest, because he doesn't have one thing that he's necessarily seeking out.
Okay. You come to a place with bright, shining lights called Fred E. Flatbreads. It sounds very much like a casino, more like the slot machines. And the front, there are no open windows. So you'll have to walk in to see more, but it sounds like a casino on the inside.
And he would kind of see this and seeing, I'm guessing these walls, maybe it's not completely I can see into this building, right?
If you look through the doors.
Okay. And so kind of, is there a line that's formed outside or anything?
No, the line is just on the inside.
I gotcha. So I
Velvet
think
rope and everything, though.
he'd probably wander over there just to, since this looks like it's a happening place.
Cool. As you go toward the door and into the room, into this building, taking just a quick look at what's going on, it is full of adults. And you may not have been looking for a bar, but there is absolutely alcohol in here. It smells a little bit rough, but everybody that you see in here has a smile on their face, whether they are standing up having to do a team slot machine where there's 4 different levers and each one has to try to stop it at the right time and with their own specific lever. You even go as far as to see a giant, looks like platform where there's 2 robots facing each other with men behind them, and they have on boxing gloves and they're boxing, and the robots are trying to fight each other, and you watch boom as one of their heads goes up. You watch the man from behind him reach up like he's grabbing the head. The robot grabs his head, pulls it back down, and you hear round 2, fight. And these robots keep punching at each other's faces, not necessarily moving their feet, but always their arms. You continue just looking around the rooms. All of a sudden you hear ding, 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 as this man is standing in front of this giant circular machine with lights just going in circles in front of it. And he's stopped it between 2 arches. He's super excited.
all of a sudden you see all of these purple chips just start falling out of the machine as it keeps stopping. There's one dude over off to the side who's pulling real gently on those purple chips, trying to see if maybe he can wiggle it enough to get an extra one for free. And then up all the way on the other side of the room, you see head shaking. Thanks. On the other side of the room, you actually see what looks to be a fully robotic animatronic orc mariachi band.
I think taking all of this in at the same time, his initial thought is to leave. But
after all that work, you're going to look like, no, do
like,
another one, Jim.
I changed my mind. To the casino. No. He kind of like looking at all of this is kind of just walking through and gets over to the counter, and he kind of looks at what he assumes is a bartender, and he taps the table or taps the counter and looks back out into the room.
Bartender is also animatronic. From the waist up, it is total. It's not even made to look like a man. It's human shaped from the waist up, but the bottom is just a pole on a track behind the bar, and it just. Greetings, friend. What can I do for you today?
And he says, and he looks at it, and he's familiar with all of this, the robotic side of it, because he's seen plenty of it, but he isn't. This is a whole new wonder to him. He loves this now that he's in it a little bit. And he said, I'll just have one of the usual, and how do I participate?
Well, you just see, what will happen is you just have to go get a card from down at the desk, and he gestures, still metallic face right at you, points his arm further down the bar, and go ahead and give them your money, depending on how much you would like to play. Each game costs a whole 2 bits to play, and you will be able to enjoy yourself.
And so
and literally the head is staying still, the body stopped to point, and then it goes back to everything below the head just spinning as the arms are reaching everywhere to make your drink, and the head is still just, it's a little unsettling as this head stays pointed right at you, and the rest of the body continues just to move, and the arms spin around it until finally boom.
And he picks the drink up and he says, well, I think this is going to be a really good night. And he takes a drink, and whatever drink it was that he made for him, he just takes a spit take and spits it all back over the robot. And he's like, can I just get a water?
You watch him go. The body spin. The arm goes back. It continues to spin as it grabs another glass. And then from under it, it goes.
Yeah, and he would take it over to the desk and get some get some tokens.
Cool, and he will set you up.
Cool.
So I'm going to, real quick then, to go ahead and round out this night, go ahead and let's get... and don't forget, guys, you actually have 6 tokens to use, story points to use right now. So feel free. Please, I want to have something to use against you. No, but let's go to Zeb. And Zeb, let's go ahead and for you, since it's all table games, go ahead and make a cool roll. And let's make it versus 2 purple, but we will have you add both a black and a blue to that cool roll. The black being because there's a lot of attention being brought to you because of Esteban, but and that's just really bringing a lot more people. The blue is because even though there's more people around, Esteban is getting a lot more of that attention.
Okay. So let me see here. Okay. All right.
2 purples, a black, blue, and then whatever your cooling presents are.
Yep. The dice roller has phased out on me. Now it's back. Okay. 3 of those. You said 2 purple, a blue, and a black. Let me see. Yeah, I guess. Well, I'll give you your first one. I'll flip me one. What does that do?
That will. Let's see. What are you rolling right now? Green. Cooling presents.
Cool is at 3.
Okay, so you're rolling 3 yellows right now.
Yeah.
You can add a green.
All right. I'll flip it. And a green. Let's see what we can get. Son of a.
So you fail, which in this casino means that with that fail, you're going to lose 10. But with those advantages, you will be able to, for your next roll, you can add 2 blue. And I'll let you roll 2 more times.
Yeah, I'll use these to make. I'll use them for blue.
Okay, so just add 2 blue and roll again.
No.
Okay, hold on. Let me get that. Let me get that green out there because I'm not gonna flip another one. Come on, don't screw me. Ha ha ha.
All right. So you go up. You have 2 successes, so that's going to put you up 20 now. So you're up a total of 10, and you have 3 advantages. You can use 2 to give yourself a blue on your next roll. You could with one of your blues, the remaining advantage. You can use that to regain some strain, and with that triumph. What would you like to do?
Maybe I was better at bluffing them than they normally is, and could actually get a little more money.
You could use that. You could use that triumph in terms mechanically. You can use that triumph to be another advantage or another blue dice for you.
Okay.
You could also use that triumph that maybe while you're playing a.
How about this? They've gotten they with the triumph. They've gotten used to Esteban being around, and it's circulated around why he's in here. So maybe that black is.
I'm totally down with that. You don't have a black for your next roll.
Okay, and I'll use the other 3 for blue.
You get 1 blue because it takes 2 of those advantages to give yourself the blue.
Okay, then yeah, and I'll give. Okay, it takes. Okay, and I'll heal some strain.
Okay.
Okay, so do I need to roll it?
It's 3 yellows,
Yeah,
2 blues, and 2 purples.
Right, I was wondering if okay. And I'll just, keep with Esteban, just watch what I'm doing.
All right, and you went up $40 more there. So that's a total of you go up $50 tonight.
Okay. And I'll look at Esteban. You want to try?
I'm good with watching.
All right.
We can go ahead and just, I'll instead of me winning or losing, just basically staying here for the rest of the night. We don't
Okay.
have to. We don't have to keep.
That's all right.
rolling.
Staying
Okay.
at the hotel and casino, it's going to be a total for the two of you as well. Sorry, this is only a parlor. This is not a hotel, but you'll be able to find one easily. And let's say if you want to find one that's a little bit cheaper, you can find a more of a not even a bed and breakfast. It's just they got rooms for people to sleep in, and it'll cost you 10 total for the both of you. Or you can find somewhere that's more like what.
That's okay. We'll take the. We'll take the 10.
Okay, all right. So you are a total of $40 up then.
Alrighty.
Anything else from the other three of you?
I thought about having a real intense skee ball moment.
Skee ball.
Actually, I would like to know how many tickets I won so I can see what kind of prize I get.
Okay. They're chips, but okay.
Well,
We're not completely ripping off any other LLC or company or whatever.
skee ball is a universally loved game.
Yes, but when you start talking tickets, it changes things. Go ahead and you can also make a. Let's see. You are not trying to bluff. You're trying to play games of skill.
Yeah, specifically one of maybe good aim and dexterous motions.
Good aim and dexterous motions. Okay. But throwing things is actually a melee roll.
Yeah, but what about rolling things?
It's still based off of not necessarily just your aim. Are you looking for like a shoot 'em like carnival game?
No, I'm trying to like finesse these balls down the ski.
Okay, then do this for me. I'll let you make an athletics roll, and you could actually use agility with it.
Okay.
And this game is not hard, but it's not easy, so 2 purples. Oh, okay, we'll just flip the destiny point, flip the story point.
Can I aim?
Sure,
How many times?
once.
Okay.
Okay. So you spend quite a good amount of time at this skee ball thing. You find out you've actually got a pretty good knack for it, and each of those successes count as 20 tickets.
Okay.
How do you want that triumph to work, though? You guys are rolling so many triumphs tonight.
I'm trying to decide if like the game just keeps feeding me these tickets, like it never cuts them off, or if I set like the perfect score, the new high score on the machine.
Okay.
And it was like perfect. It was 100 balls all night long.
Cool. Which one of those do you want then?
So that I think that's going to be my. I think I'm going to set the record.
All right. Turns out that there's a little man who's at the front, and every time you get a 100, he's got 2 little guns, and you can tell that he's like pushed forward by a pin at the back, and every time that you get a 100, that little pin twists, and his arms and legs go woo every time, and so literally it does it over and over and over again until it's like woo 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 woo, and then the arms start being able to hold themselves up, and he just starts spinning in circles, and the score up there is the highest it is, and it is flashing this light over and over and over again of whatever your highest score is going to be. And a manager comes up to you and taps you on the shoulder and says, "Excuse me, sir. I see that you have done a great feat that we never expected to see happen here. That is not just the highest score. here, but that is the highest score across all of Fort Dallas, sir. We check these scores daily, and we make sure that all of our locations of Fred E. Flatbreads have their scores up to date. And, sir, first I would like to give you this, and there's a person behind him with their arms full, and he hands you a mug of Freddy Flatbread, and it's that cowboy woo over there. And then he goes, and here's a hat. It's like foam, and it says Freddy Flatbreads, and it's real large. And he goes, and here is this shirt, and this shirt is purple, but it's a long sleeve button up shirt, and on the back, like it's got the cowboy trim along the shoulders, and on the back it says Freddy Flatbreads. It's got his face and two hands and guns beside it. If anybody ever watches this and you're an OSU fan, I'm totally ripping off your cowboy.
So, is this another way that I might be able to build up my name around town between the float and now skee ball champ?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think the last thing he would do is give him his name because they told him they're going to do something like putting it up in lights or something like that. And he takes his 40 tickets, which he puts the shirt on, he puts the hat on his head, and he walks with the mug and his 40 tickets over to the counter and sits them down. And he starts looking at the big prizes on the back wall, and he's like, I want that one.
And the robot slides up over to you. I'm so sorry, sir. You only have 40 tickets. That's enough for you two. And his hands come forward and gesture toward the glass case in front of
it. And he looks so disappointed. And he's like, but and he like points back over where somebody's already started playing skee ball on his machine. It's like, and he looks in there and he finally wiggles around. And he's like, you know what? Can I have 5 of those? They're all 8 bits a piece or whatever, so that it's the perfect amount.
Absolutely. They're actually all, 8 bits?
Is that a lot?
Like, that's $1. 2 bits is a quarter. For those
yeah, but you know those toys are like worth nothing, and they charge a bunch for them.
That's right. I paid for them in tickets before too. He goes, all right, and he gives you 4 of them, and you can decide what the 4 of those are later.
There's 5 of them, but thank you.
There's 5 of them. Okay. So let's say that that it's like kind of a triumph in your pocket. It's something small. It's not something that does damage. It's not a weapon.
Oh yeah, no.
It's a story device that you can use.
Well,
so go ahead.
I mean, I like that idea. I definitely like pull the crazy thing out of my pocket. But it's the little hand clapper things where it's the hand in the middle and you shake it left and right.
Okay, so it's a little hand clapper. Cool. And so then you look for a place to stay, and you're able to in time find somewhere that you're looking for, and a cheaper place. It's just a room to sleep is going to be $5 for you. If you want to find somewhere better, it's going to be $10.
I would probably just try and find the closest thing I could to where we're going.
Okay.
So like the breakfast place. So if there's a $5 place, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'll stay at this Hotel 6."
Cool. The closest place is actually going to be one of the $10 places.
Yeah, he'll pay it. And how much did I spend on the stubs or whatever?
You spent $20 on the stubs.
Okay, cool.
That included like your drink and everything that you were doing as you were going along there. Okay, so the next morning, you're all able to meet up at, and let's do this. We're going to call this the place that you're able to meet up. We said it's a bakery, but we're going to say that it's Finley's Fried Dough. I'm in an F mood tonight. And you guys can discuss your plan while I get this next part ready. And then also tell me how you want to do it. Go ahead.
Well, hey, I come into this little place a little happier. Also, look around. So how did y'all fare last night?
Russ just shakes his head, nods his head, and goes, "Yeah, all right. We found out a place that we can go for some mechanical parts called Flesh and Bone, and it's owned by Jeebum Nar. And we've got a name that we can get referred by, and hopefully that'll mean we've got a discount. All in all, pretty happy. We had a nice stay. They even had a mechanically heated bath. It was awesome.
Well, I'm glad that y'all got to see a little bit of civilization. What about you, Doc?
I didn't take a nasty warm bath, that's for sure. But I think we can fix that robot if we find some parts tomorrow. Or today.
And I think as soon as Doc gets done talking, Monroe sitting at the desk, still in the hat, still with the t-shirt on, and just running his clapper nonstop with his big mug in front of him. Is like, so we came to town for a couple of different reasons, and it's just clack, 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 clack. And I understand that there's a debt to pay, but I feel like I've got a more important debt due to Miss Tilly. So at some point, I'm going to have to see if I can't see what happened to Mikey. Oh, and he hands everybody one of the clappers he's been playing with.
Really should have got one of those sticky hands.
And he just stops clapping. It's like, oh. And he sets it down and like leans back in his chair. So how are you guys going to go about fixing this robot for the lady?
You mean the robot you broke?
Yeah, I definitely broke it, but it was not in this many pieces until everybody else showed up. It looked like it was still functioning, actually. What now, Jeb? And he picks his little clapper up and claps it and like looks at you out of the side of his eye. And he does like this skee ball motion with his hand.
You know, y'all got this nasty habit. I would hate to melt that little foam hat on your head.
He kind of stops and he says, "That's not a funny joke."
I look at Zeb and I go, well, melt the hat on his head. I was like, he walks over and kind of like looks at the hat and goes, Where'd you get a foam hat?
They only give it to the best, apparently. Much like my shirt. And he like turns around and points at the embroidery on the back. He says, "This place is for the best."
I look at him. I says, "Ain't that 12-year-old got one of those hats right there?" Okay, that boy.
I'm just saying, I'm the best in Dallas. Everybody knows it. And he kind of finger guns you.
I look at him, kind of raises his. He go, "What was that? Are you proud of what you just did?"
And he's sitting there with the finger gun still in his hand. And he like looks at it and he's like, "It was a great shot." And he fake like twirls it and puts it into an invisible holster on his side. And he goes back to eating.
Esteban, like, has everyone lost their damn mind today?
And at that, hearing you shout that out, a woman peeks in. And she walks in. She's real happy to see you. "Oh, good. I found you. Are you ready?" And she gives a big old whistle, and her manservant is trying to carry as much of this robot as he can, and it's just dragging up. And he drops it. She says, "I'll be staying." And she gives you just the name of her hotel that she's staying at. I'm having some trouble finding the green weeds, but I just can't follow the directions. I've been given directions to it. There are lots of people who say they know where it is. I just can't find it. But I'll meet you here in the morning. And you gentlemen, and she looks at you, Doc, and she looks at Russet. You'll have this finished, correct?
Yes, of course. Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, y'all have a good one. And she turns around to leave.
I look at the other guys. I says, "Is it just me, or she reminds me of a con artist?" Like, and he just, thinking about like just how tough robots, like robots can be. I mean, he's never like worked on them or anything. I mean, and granted, there are, he goes, granted, there are robots that are just pure junk, but
Well, regardless, he broke it.
I look at Russet and Doc. I says, before you waste money, find out how good condition. Like, he says, "I'm not good with machines." He says, looking at the rifles and looking at the guns, he goes, "You don't want to buy a gun that doesn't work." So make sure that what you're putting together wasn't slapped together anyway. Like just barely together anyway. I says, why give something brand new when it wasn't brand new? As I'm all for, I says, y'all, as I understand, y'all want to be kind to the lady. I says, but flowers, you got to remember, I guess every once in a while, poison ivy looks pretty too. Or so I was told when I was a little fella.
All I know is that robot took off at a hell of a pace, so we gotta fix it good.
I says, if the lady's on the up, I says, then that's good. I says, then what you're doing is a nice thing for her. I says, but out in these lands, you can never tell. Women are so. Believe me when I tell you, women can be worse than most men can.
Do you have it against anyone that's not you? Not male, not your race. You have something against machines. You have something against women. What's going on with you? You just angry at the world?
He kind of looks at you and says, "I'll have to take you down to New Mexico one day. And I'll show you." Kind of chuckling, kind of laughing off what you said, but not, like dismissingly.
Well, if we're still alive, I'll come with you to New Mexico.
Why don't you guys just find one of these machine shops and see how much one of these things cost? That tell you whether or not you're actually overdoing the job or not.
Oh, they probably know in Flesh and Bone how much one's worth.
It's probably true.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll ask that question too. She reckons it was worth, what was it? 700, 900?
She said 700. I don't
700.
Yeah, that's what she did say. So, hey, Esteban brought us up of that. We should find out if it really was worth 700.
Just out of curiosity, because like out of character, but like I know this is the West, and I know like guns didn't cost like hundreds like they do today. How much, like on a figure, how much would what she asked for be equivalent to like today? Like on just the scale of how much money this is.
A lot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. So what she's saying is roughly every 100 costs about would translate to 3,000 now.
So $21,000, correct? If it's not of 7,000.
Yep.
Damn.
But then again, just you got to remember also that the rooms that y'all just bought or that you rented were $5, $10, and the weapons that you buy, because it's an RPG game, since weapons are so important to the game, they cost more than what they typically cost.
Oh yeah. I was just wondering because I didn't because I know in the West times prices. Right. I just want to know the scale of just to grasp how much it would be.
It's pricey and it's rare.
Yeah.
So just as a comparison, just having a quick look, a hunting rifle in this game is $750. So it's about as much as a hunting rifle.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially like a slave, to not get too dark about it.
Say what, Mike?
So this is essentially like a slave, not to get too dark about it, but it's like owning a person on some level. Even if it doesn't have
Yeah, I don't
exactly.
I feel like it's probably closer to like a washing machine.
I mean, it just drank something and ran away from us. Like,
I don't know that it drank anything. It just put something in its mouth.
Oh yeah, or whatever. I mean,
Is your is your refrigerator running? Better
This
go
one
catch
was.
it.
Yeah.
So y'all are gonna go. Y'all spending time together again, or
Yeah, I think so.
okay? So
Well, I think that some of us, I think for especially Monroe, his focus is finding Mikey, and I think he would probably, if I read what he's been saying correctly, he probably wants to do that sooner rather than later. Whereas for myself, like I want to honor my word to a couple of people, but I think this woman needs this thing by tomorrow. So like I'm more focused on that at this second, and have confidence in Monroe and whoever goes with him to find Mikey. We also have to find Joe Bill Watson, who was like the foreman. So we've got a few things to do. So I don't know whether we want to split up and do different things.
I mean, to be 100% clear, Doc would like to honor his commitment to Russet, but does not care to fix the robot for any other reason.
Yeah.
Other than that, maybe Russet would be painted in a dark light for it not being fixed. But I mean, Doc doesn't care too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be happy to help fix this robot.
If it would take two of us to take half a day to fix it, maybe it would take one of us a full day. Like Russell will work on it all day if he has to.
Yeah, maybe the guy that runs that shop might be willing to help you out too.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying to Jim is I think we're probably going to split up.
I have, other than games that I run, I have never watched a group of people split themselves up so readily.
It is like every chance we get.
And that makes me very happy. I'm not trying to screw over you guys as a GM, but I'm trying to go, all right, let's Star Wars this shit. Everybody splits up. We'll make the story work.
And I'm not trying to bog the game down.
No.
I'm sorry if it's doing that, but it just seems like we've got different things to do, and there's no reason for us all to go to the mechanic shop when only two of us are going to work on it, or one of us is going to work on it, whichever way it's going to go. Like, yeah.
Okay, so then let's do this. Let me get on a new page. What is everyone's plan for the day? Russet,
Right.
You are definitely gonna go to Flesh and
Flesh
Bone.
and Bone, and I'll be there probably all day if he'll let me. And yeah.
Yeah, I think Doc is helping until there is a convenient moment to disappear.
I'm sorry, Mike. Your mic's like near your chin, man. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I think Doc is like gonna be there until there's a convenient moment to disappear, and he'll go find everyone else or someone else.
Okay. What do you? Are you just trying to find somebody specific?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to help out with the robot, but not like necessarily stay there all day and go find Monroe.
Okay. The bot / Monroe. Monroe, what are you doing?
I think Monroe would probably seek out, I mean, maybe a somewhat dirty part of town, if there is such a thing, where maybe the homeless population might gather.
So you're looking for Mikey?
Yeah.
Okay. Right now I'm just looking for the big idea, and then when I get to each person or group, I'll be like, tell me what you want to do, how you want to do it, and based off of what your it's very 7th Sea-ish on this. Depending on how you want to do it, we'll add dice, figure out what those rolls are, make those happen, and kind of move this along. Zeb.
I think I'll hang around with the casino for a while, but I also spend a little time just asking if they has had anyone that looked like myself with a knife scar come into town recently.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And Esteban.
Be as lazy as possible and do as little as nothing as I possibly can.
You know what? That's awesome. Like, we can do a lot with that. Cool. So then, let me move through some of this real quick. I'm going to go to Russet and Doc. And Russet, when you get there, it's very obvious who Jibum Na is, because Jibum Na is another bear.
Yeah.
And he looks at you and he goes, and he points with a big bear paw, and he goes, "You're the one my cousin talked about, right?" And he holds out his paw and he goes, "We didn't get your name."
Russet Red.
Russet Red. Okay, nice. Taking the white man's names. I get it. Shoes did it. No problem. So you're looking to fix a robot, and he's looking at all that junk and goes, "Yeah, it's a bummer."
So just need to tell you, Jeebum, the woman whose property this is, she reckons this is worth 700 bits.
Oh. Well, he looks at it a bit, starts moving some pieces around, and then looks at the base of the skull. Goes, "Yep, right there. It's a Butler Bot 300. This model, however, is well, the 300 model came out probably about 4 years ago, so it's a little bit dated. I'm pretty sure she paid about $700 for it when it came out, but well, I would say that if you're trying to buy one right now, you could probably get it for about half off. But gosh, anybody who's still using the Butler Bot 300 and hadn't upgraded, either they used to have money and they fell out of it, or well, it's like having a horse that's old. It's still a horse. It's yours. You've had it for a while, and it can still do a pretty good job.
Right.
It's got more value to the person who owns it than necessarily it really is worth.
And it did seem like that to us too. She did seem attached, and we would like to repair it back to about where it was.
Yeah, well, he starts looking over. He goes, "How'd this thing break?"
Well, as you can see here, and here.
And he's got one of his fingers in one of those ears already.
There's been a bit of gunshot damage. Bullet.
I may have shot it a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. Oh, well.
We can just plug the holes up. It'll be fine.
Let me take a look at it, and I'll tell you what you need. For the most part around here, I've got most of what you need for your basic work, for basic parts and maintenance. Anything else, like if you want to fix the chassis, you're going to have to either go buy that part specially, or you're going to have to really have to know what you're doing with some of your Smith works. But I'm sure we can make it work out. You got a place to work?
We're only visiting, sir.
I kind of assumed this was a place to work.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate it if we could use your workshop. We got our own tools.
I do have a bag of tools.
Your own tools? All right. Go ahead and make a charm roll. This is going to be against 2 purples, but you get to add a blue. In fact, do as a charm roll. What are you guys doing for? Does either of you have a higher presence or a higher charm?
I got nothing. Oh well. So it's 2 greens for me.
Yeah, it's 2 as well.
All right.
Should I just give a blue to Matt?
So you can just give him a blue.
Okay. So I'm going 1 blue, 2 greens, 2 purple. Yeah.
You get this. You want to flip up?
Nope.
Well, shit.
Okay. He while you're standing there and he's looking over it and looking at y'all, he's about to say something. All of a sudden, the door swings wide open, and a man, top hat and cane, comes in. He goes, "Damn it, no!" And he pulls up his pant leg, and you can see the servos and the metal casing. He goes, "You fixed this for me just yesterday, and it's already." And you watching sparks start to fly from the shin. And Na goes, "Oh, damn! I'm sorry. I don't." And he goes, "Here, sir, take a seat." And after a bit of the conversation, the man walks with a wooden replacement for a while. He says, "Guys, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to help you. And this is going to take a bit of priority. But you can have it for at least the day. But just going to ask you to, you're probably going to have to stay out of the way, too. Didn't expect this to come in."
That's perfectly fine, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. And
Yeah,
so
Doc's wiping his hands clean of the situation. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to go find Monroe. This didn't work out. Okay.
So, Doc, you're going to be in there by yourself. So, Doc, I'm going to come back to you here later and ask for a roll. It'll definitely be a mechanics roll.
You mean me? Sorry.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Russet, it'll be a mechanics roll.
Sure.
And tell me a little bit of how you plan to go about that, whether you're going to try to get some of his help, maybe some what you say, and that can influence whether you get some blues or blacks to help you out there.
Alrighty. I'll think about that while you go over to the others.
Gotcha. Monroe, we're going to move to you. You're seeking out the poorer quarters where the ragged people go. Looking for the places only they would know. And make a streetwise check for me. And this will be versus single purple. All right, so you're going to struggle a bit. In fact, you're going to take some strain because
that should have been 2 greens.
Oh,
Whatever.
Go ahead.
You want me to just re-roll all of it?
Sure.
I don't mind. Whatever you want me to do.
Yeah, just add a green and roll it.
Are you sure?
For those of you who can't see, that's everybody else who's ever might watch this game, the whole 0 of you. He went from having a single threat to 2 failures and an advantage. So you are struggling getting people to talk to you, but you can heal a strain if you need to. In fact, you've all slept, so you should all have all of your strain at this point. So that advantage is pretty much lost. You are struggling. Looking around. In fact, it's taken up so much time that eventually, Monroe, you see Doc. So it's been about an hour of you trying to find where you're supposed to be going, and you fail until Doc shows up. And in fact, when you and Doc meet, you start to have a conversation. Then you look up, and there's a sign. Any guess as to what that sign says? Nope. Okay. green weeds.
Nice. That lady, she said something about this place, didn't she?
Yeah, she said we should find. Looking in his notes,
Hackham.
Allie Hackham's.
Yeah. Well, think Allie's in here?
Well, I'd be willing to bet at least someone will respond to that name, whether that's a real name or not.
Well, let's go find out.
Let's do that.
Cool. Open the door. The door hits the bell. Ding, ding, ding. And you walk in. A man turns and he's got the arm garters on. He looks over at you. He looks very dark skinned. And he says in an obviously fake Persian accent, he goes, "Ah, yes, welcome to Ali Hackham's." And he's shaking his hands very, vigorously as he's talking. "Ali Hackham's green weeds. What can I do for you?" This man's never seen a Persian person in his life. Y'all probably haven't either.
I was going to say, Monroe hasn't either.
Persian.
Yeah, it's fine. Were we looking for medicine? Was she looking for medicine from him for her father? Is that what?
I think he sold her medicine, right?
No. The
He's trying to
peddler
find
man
him.
from back in New France told her to come find Ali Hackham at the Green Weed. And he would be able to help her. She even had a list of ingredients that she needed, but
She didn't give them to me.
right.
Oh,
However,
sir.
I do remember that the two of you have been curious in buying ingredients for painkillers.
Yes.
There are also painkillers in here to. There are painkillers to purchase.
Yes, Mr. Hackham. Hello. You may have heard of me. My name is Monroe, and he points to the back of his shirt and kind of turns around.
You turn around and he goes, "Oh, yes. Yes. I love Freddy flatbreads."
Says, yes, and maybe even you remember from the parade yesterday. People love that. Anyway, we're looking for ingredients for someone who is sent to find you. And I don't have that list of ingredients, but what I do know is that her father doesn't know who she is.
That's a terrible thing, my friend.
Yes, and I think they were trying to fix that.
Well, I hope that she finds her way here, because I'm sure that I have some potion or tincture to help out.
Yeah, you don't think that that's a pretty good description of the symptoms, right? She doesn't know who her dad is. So, what would you prescribe to someone like that?
Well, and his hands come down a little. His eyes lighten back up. I would have to hear exactly from her what's going on to be able to get her to put together what she would need to best help her father. And the doorbell rings. And a couple of men walk in. And Monroe and Monroe and Doc, you both see that they have that. They walk in dressed real nice, and they have this symbol on their coats. At first, they look like long dusters, fitted, and then you realize that they are dressed very nice, And those coats are actually black lab coats.
Monroe steps himself out of the way and kind of ushers them to the desk. Says, "Oh, excuse me."
Monroe, make a cool check. This will be versus 2 purples and a black. Okay. You are totally able to keep your cool in the situation. And the men both walk up, and you hear Aliakim. He goes, Remus! Scott! What brings you back into here? I thought you were leaving town. And the taller one with short brown hair, glasses, looks and says, Yes. Well, I thought we were too, but it turns out we have some more business here in town. You know, just the regular. It is so nice doing research out here, getting away from the Corp headquarters. It is so much nicer. And then the other man, who is shorter, with a little bit shaggier blonde hair, says, Absolutely. Those of us with desk jobs have it the worst. And they both kind of giggle. Both of you make vigilance checks, please. Let's see. Versus a single purple. All right. So, Mike, Doc is going to be able to also see the bright silver pistols at each of their waists. All of this is the markings of a field agent of the Mercury Corporation. Earlier, Monroe, you also just rolled a triumph on your previous roll. How would you like to do that?
I think he would. I would like to know. Let's see. What are these things? I would like to know the. I would like to know.
So, like, there's
Ali
motivations with the
yeah.
big M. That's like fears, strengths, flaws, and desires. But then there's like, when dealing in the social situation, there's also motivations like small m that lets you figure out the goal in the encounter. So, like, what are they really doing here?
Yeah. So I guess that's probably being. I was going to try and find out a little bit more about Ali, but if I can find some way to intuit why Remus and Scott are here.
Cool. So throughout the conversation, as you're listening, Remus and Scott, you hear them say things like, "We have a friend who we have been looking for. We know that he is supposed to have come into town, and try as we might, we just never seem to meet up with him. We never seem to really, be able to find him." And they continue. they continue to like jokingly refer to him as Perro. And you may not know a whole lot of Spanish, but you've heard that phrase before. It means dog. And they continue to laugh it off, and Allie Hackham continues just to talk with them about that. But they give you a quick description of a man with dark auburn hair and a dark auburn beard that's real fluffy, and he's pretty short, and it looks like he used to like he's built like he used to help build the rail. Their goal is to help him. He as a friend, he was hurt. He is looking for help, and so they say he called on them to come help him. They just can't find him, and this is all language you're familiar with.
Yeah, I don't think Monroe is going to say a word. He's just going to sit there and try and act. I mean, I think he's not like being unobvious. I think what he's doing is he's sitting there just kind of watching them as they're going through business, and every time they like look over and smile, he kind of like laughs, kind of playing along.
Okay.
Trying to feed into the, play up that these guys are talking about something that he has no idea about. And so he's like, ha ha. Trying to not let anything on, trying to act like he's stupid regarding what they're talking about.
All right. Doc, how is this going for you? For you, this might actually be like celebrities.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I see that these guys work for Mercury Corp, and I'm kind of excited at the chance to maybe hear about like something new, some new product that they might have access to just by being in close relationship with the company. So I'd kind of like to inquire about like what would be in it for me to help them find this hero.
and they become interested in interested in what you've got to say, and so they look over and they start going, well, you see, our friend Pedro, he is he's pretty deceitful. He's not I believe that he's probably gone into hiding. The kind of pain that he's in and his disease. It's just
disease.
If he's not careful, it could be quite disfiguring. We are doing our best to help find him. But if you are interested, by all means, one of them pulls out a card from his vest, pulls out a pen. You watch it go click, click. This is the only, in this, you're like, wait, what? This pen goes click, click. And on the back of it, he goes, here's the location of the hotel we're staying in. If you happen to find any information on our friend Pedro, please stop by any time. We'd love to hear what you have to say, and we would absolutely be more than happy to pay you for any information you might have leading us to.
Oh, actually, I'm staying in the same hotel.
Oh,
it's a
wonderful, wonderful,
beautiful hotel.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay, do you have a photo of this dog man? Is that what you?
No. He's not a dog man. He's just the low man on the totem pole.
Oh, okay. I understand. So is Monroe.
Is this your friend Monroe then?
Yeah. Well, he kind of follows me around more than we are friends, really. But
So he would be your
he's a
peril.
good shot. He's a good shot. I'll give him that. He's handy with his guns.
And they are yucking it up with you, man.
Perfect. Are these like reps for Mercury Corp, or are they like agents? Like would I be able to be like, oh, cool? Can you give me some samples of your?
They are field agents. That you know that with Mercury Core, for the most part, the people who are strictly science based are going to be spend most of their time inside of a lab. But even their most I just lost my word. The ones that are going to do best in the field will have a modicum of skill in alchemy.
Okay. But they're not like they are here with the express purpose of finding that person, and that
Right.
would be
They're
clear
there to
to
find
me.
some people. Even as the conversation goes along, you're able to get that part of the reason that's not the only reason they're here. That's just a secondary reason. They're here to stop by uh, some of the shops, touch base, because in the same way that Disney has been buying up every studio that everybody loves, that's a lot how Mercury Core has worked. When somebody comes up with an idea, they purchase that from them immediately.
Yeah, they purchased the company that had the idea.
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'd be happy to help any way that we can. Me and my assistant Monroe will be available for the foreseeable future. We have a couple of odd jobs we're doing, but this sounds much more important, and I'd love to help however I can.
Yes. Yeah, that would be wonderful. Again,
Perfect.
if you find anything about our friend, please, whenever you come back to the hotel,
And does he
yeah.
go by anything other than Little Dog Man? That seems maybe if
Yes.
he's given his own name, it may be something other than Pero.
Yes. We are so familiar with him. We have mostly stuck with his nicknames. I apologize. Yes, you could actually get a hold of him if you are able to meet up with him. His name is David McGillicuddy.
Ah, yes. That sounds much more human.
It would. And they both look at each other and laugh.
Do you work with David Pero?
Oh, no, David Moore works for us. He did. He was recently released from our company, and with our closeness with him, well, he reached out to us. And being in the area, we decided to help. Make a cool roll for me.
That's not cool. Terrible at that. Versus one purple, two purple.
Okay, so this is going to be versus two purples and a red.
Ooh, burn. And I will use a white to change one of those to a yellow. Oof. I don't like seeing that symbol.
Oh, despair.
I also don't know how it works with a despair and a success.
So first of all, you succeed. These gentlemen, you can you can absolutely tell that what they are saying is a bit of a lie. They are speaking in code and speaking around the conversation. And your cool is that you realize it and do not respond. It is not, you're able to start catching on to it, and your facial features remain in complete control rather than
Okay,
giving it
cool.
away.
But my despair.
That despair, I'm going to hold on to that.
Oh, perfect. I love when you say that.
Okay. And so, said, well, if there's nothing more, we will have to go look for our friend Pedro, David, and Mr. Hackham. You have a great one. He goes, yes, you too. And the two men in black lab coats open the door, dingling, and walk out. As you turn and look at each other, I'm going to go to Zeb real quick. Zeb, you've gone back to that casino. You smelled that place out. You, as soon as you walked out of that breakfast restaurant, you are whistling. You are ready. You are going to go back. You're going to make some money and just check and make sure that this person that you're looking for, or maybe even just keeping a watch out for, seeing what's going on. So you make it back to the casino. Tell me how you're going to handle this. Like, what are you doing? Are you actually focusing on playing? Are you focusing on getting information?
A little of both. I might actually.
Might actually. All right, so I'm going to go to Eric then. Wait, are you there? Clyde? Eric, are you there?
I'm here.
Cool.
I'm here.
So then let's go with you being lazy. Are you legitimately just like sitting down somewhere, pulling down the sombrero and napping, or just?
I am being I am moving for me burns a lot of calories, and I can't. I need to save my energy. You know.
All right. So then here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a vigilance roll for me against a single purple.
Vigilance. All right, hold on. Let me bring up my sheets. I think I have a blue and a blue and a yellow, a green and a yellow. I think I took vigilance. Yes. Will. No, it's not will. What am I talking? What is it? Willpower. Okay. Jesus. All right. Green. Yellow. And against what? Single purple?
One purple.
One purple. Blam.
Awesome. So, through your time of just sitting, napping, resting, being lazy, you hear about as the lady walks by, and she's still trying to find directions to green weeds, and then she just walks on by, and having not even noticed you for a single minute, you are hearing conversations go on. You hear a lover's quarrel. Pardon me. You hear a lover's quarrel. You hear business transactions happen. The police come by. One of them shoves his foot up against your foot and like, hey, can't sleep there. And after, oh, I'm not sleeping. I'm just not going anywhere.
I'm suffocating a bug in my eye.
He looks at you and goes, all right, well, move along soon, okay?
All right. I'm concentrating really hard.
Yeah, to not, die. No, and then you even get to something that you do see during your time of laziness is with like lovers' quarrels and everything that's been going on. You do happen to see a pretty haggard-looking, red-headed man go further into the city, specifically to the old fort that it used to be Fort Worth before Fort Worth was no longer necessary and merged to become Fort Dallas. At the same time, you then see what looks like a young boy. And this strikes you because for a minute in his eyes, you see Miss Tilly. And then that boy is lost back in the crowd again.
At that.
Well, young boy. Remember, he's like 20.
Yeah. Using what the one of the deputies told him about moving along. He sees this as and then like too long after he sees this boy that, and he, it's like he pulls himself up, not wanting to get up, and he tries to, as best he can, not really like struggling to do it, but just walking to look see if he can still catch a glimpse of this kid. And if he can, he'll follow him. But I mean, I guess I'll have to roll for it first. Huh?
Absolutely. Make a perception roll.
Oh, okay.
It'll be against. I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade this one. So it's going to be against 2 purples and a red.
Okay,
no, 1 purple, 1 red, and 2 blacks.
Damn. All right. Wow. Nope.
Those 2 blacks actually represent the crowd, and you have lost this young man in the crowd.
About judging, like I know I failed the perception check, and that's fine. But how far, how long does it take me to get exactly where I saw the boy at?
Oh, not long. I mean, it could have been that just on the other side of the street, you thought you saw him pass by.
Well, where I can't find him, I can ask some of the people. I mean, I'm not going to force anybody to stop and talk to me. Like,
yeah,
I'll walk up to people that I think in the direction that I saw him walking when he was in visual side of me. I'll ask people like, did you see a boy? And he gives a description of the boy that he's looking for, that he seen. If after him doing all this, if no one can help him, then he'll just, that it's becoming to be more effort than he's willing to invest.
Okay. Go ahead and make a streetwise check.
Oh no. Okay,
this is going to be against a purple and a black.
Oh, okay. Hold on, let me. My sheet needs to load here. Oh no! Oh, streetwise. Okay, it's cunning. Okay. All right. Cunning. I'll take that yellow away. Now, and it'll be against what now?
A purple, and just because of the part of the town that you're in, it
Mhm.
will also add a black to it.
Okay, so a purple and a black.
hmm
Okay.
All right, so that's a double no there.
That's
It's
a
not
hot
that
no.
you don't find out any information. It's that the people just won't talk to you.
Yeah, no. That's kind of how I play it too. It's like they just look at me like, mm.
All right.
So,
So-
yeah. Yeah.
Back up to Russet. Russet, tell me how you want to do this.
All right. So I was looking at stats and all that sort of thing and seeing what was possibly going to happen. I think the way that Russet would go about this would be, first of all, Jeebum has kind of said, probably you're going to have to buy a chassis to have a chance of repairing this properly. So I think Russet would first, see if he can go about buying a chassis, which I sort of looked at the stats and went, maybe that's streetwise. And then once he finds somewhere, try and negotiate a price. And then he would come back and attempt to repair. And being that he's having to do this himself without Doc's help, I was thinking mechanics and maybe discipline for just basically he's just spending all of his effort, all of his time, for the whole day, just basically going at it. So that's what I was thinking. But you obviously are the GM, and you can tell me what I need. But that's how Russet's going to do it. First of all, he's going to try and find and purchase a chassis. Then he's going to just put his head between his legs and just go
Gotcha.
hard at it.
So, Jeebum Na is going to be able to point you in the direction, be like, yeah, go here. He writes down some directions, be able to send you somewhere and to pick up a chassis. And of course, you have your chance to haggle. So you can go ahead and make your negotiation roll. Let's see, what is the negotiation versus? Negotiation versus negotiation. Got it. So it's going to be 2 purples and a red. No,
Cool.
it's going to be 3 purples.
3 purples. All right.
Don't forget, you can spend a story point.
Yeah, my negotiation probably isn't good enough to not spend a story point here, so I will go for that. Oh.
All right. Where did? So right now, you are able to. You are definitely going to be able to get the chassis from them, and the chassis, unfortunately, is going to cost about 70 of your monies.
Oh, that's fine. All right. Cool. 70 of my monies are gone.
And then, as you know, you can pretty much get everything for the inside from Jeebum Na.
Yep. So I would head back and, yeah, like I said, put his head down and he's going to just go out spending the whole day using whatever he needs to. He'll obviously keep a list of everything that he uses of Jeebum's in case he needs to pay for that. And yeah, just spend all of his energy and all of his time trying to repair this machine, this robot.
All right, so here's what you're going to have to do. This is going to take you going up against 3 purples.
3 purples.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to upgrade that check to 2 purples and a red.
2 purples and a red.
You can, however, you can downgrade that to make it back to 3 purples if you like.
No, so what I will do, looks like I've got just normally 2 yellows. So I could, can I do it either way, or does it work when you've used one that I just cancel yours out? Is that?
Excuse me.
So normally I could obviously add a green if I flip one. Am I just cancelling your red out if I flip one at this point?
You could downgrade the check. You could get rid of that red.
Yeah. To a purple, right?
Yes. And there's one thing that I want to make sure of before I say anything else. All right. So for every advantage, that takes 10% off of the cost that you would have to spend to finish repairing it.
Okay. So I will flip it back to 3 purple.
And because of what you've got in there, you have him around. He's only going to be able to help for a little bit. He will give you a blue.
Right. All right. Is that it?
Unless there's anything else you want to say to try to get more help.
Just thinking. No, I like Russet doesn't want to interfere with this man's business. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
All right.
So, just 2 advantages at that point.
All right. So you're not able to succeed.
Okay. So, yeah, I spend all day and with those 2 advantages, can I even narrate to say that I've prepared all of this for Doc's handiwork and give him a blue if he comes back, or when he comes back?
You could pay him. You've knocked off 20% of the cost of what's needed to be spent of the parts to buy. Mm-hmm. Not 20% off of, like, based off a negotiation. What you're able to set up, you're able to take care of a portion of it, but not enough to actually fix it. You're able to make parts, but in the day, that doesn't mean that you didn't in any way mess up the robot. It just is in that day's time. There wasn't enough time for you to finish the job.
So what you're saying is I could pay I could pay for it to be done, or what I'm asking is could I give Doc a blue in the morning, like, because I've sort of prepared it or not. That's fine if it's not, if I can't.
That all depends on your negotiation.
Oh.
Because tomorrow is another day, and the guy whose leg needed to be fixed was based off of your roll or the roll earlier.
Okay. All right.
If you wanted, you could see if you could sweet talk him into letting you have use his workplace or his workroom for the night.
Mm-hmm. I think that's probably what Russet would do. At the end of the day, being that he hasn't succeeded, he would plead with the man to see if he could work through the night without sleep to fix it.
Cool. How do you plead? Are we going? Are we going for charm? Are we going for negotiation?
So yeah, Russet would sort of go, yeah. He would say a night for my assistance with you. So he's going to do it on a trader level, where he's like, I will help you with a deal that you're going through with. Maybe there's something like that you need picked up, or maybe you need someone to rough handle some seller of your wares that's selling things too expensive that I can maybe come and help with that. So he's trying to negotiate with the man on a business level. He'll do him a favor if he'll do Russet a favor.
Okay. Make a negotiation. Make it against 2 purples, and I'll give you a blue. Because one of those that you said is actually something that he wants.
All right. And I want this to succeed. I feel like I can't spend another one because we're, yep, so, okay, we're good.
There you go. It really came down to that blue. He wanted it, and everything else you rolled canceled out in that one blue. And so you just said the magic word to make him go, yes. So let me pull it up real quick. You have where is it? All right. He says, so you'll pick something up for me?
Absolutely.
He goes, all right, well, okay. So then here's what I'd like for you to do. There is, well, there's this man. And he, well, he's a trader. Look, is more of a blacksmith. And it was, well, he didn't really come into Dallas. He parked his caravan outside of town. Him and some of his buddies came in, did some stuff, made a deal with him, and he, well, I bought a product for him that turned out to be real crap. And, well, it's really hurt my pocket. It's made it difficult to kind of catch up on that money. And if you would go retrieve that, I guess you can also put that with shake down somebody. The problem is I don't know where he is. His caravan pretty much moves all around. It doesn't always necessarily stay in the great state of Texas either. But, well, let's see. The guy's name, and he pulls out a book, flips through some pages, and then puts his finger down on it and goes, that's him right there. And he says, guy's name is Oko. Oko Thien. At least that's what he wrote here.
Right. So what is it exactly that he wants back? Is it his money, or is it?
Yeah.
Because he wants his money back.
I probably paid about, let's see, making it up, I probably spent about $2,000 on a product that he tried to give me that turned out to be real shit.
Okay. No worries. I strike the deal. Say yes, I will find this man. I will retrieve your money, and that will be in exchange for a night in his workshop without sleep trying to fix this damn robot.
All right. He says, well, be my guest. I want a discipline from you before you start rolling that of 1 purple. And Clyde, we are going to come to you here real quick. Clyde, you can go ahead and set up your dice to make your cool roll. Okay, your wash. So you failed your discipline, so you're going to have a black die on your next roll. Okay, Matt? And because of how much you got set up now, what you're able to do, it's not finished, but you were able to move it to 2 purples instead of 3. However, I am going to make it 1 purple, 1 red. So you've got on your next mechanics roll a purple, a red, and a black.
Okay, sorry. If I've got Nat for it, does the black remain?
No.
Okay. So a purple and a red.
Yep.
I'll flip it back because I want it to succeed.
Okay.
To 2 purples.
And Clyde, you can set up for. There you go. That's the only success you needed. So Clyde set up for your cool roll, and it's going to be versus 2 purple again. In fact, I'm going to flip one to make it a purple and a red against your cool. And for your result, Matt, you are able to absolutely fix it. And this robot is a working robot again. But that will take you well till about after midnight.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to role play that I'm exhausted because I technically failed my discipline check.
Right. Are you there, Clyde?
Yep. Just waiting for my turn.
All right, man. It's your turn.
Okay, so purple, red.
Purple and a red. Yes, sir. All right. So you don't succeed, but you get a triumph. So it means you don't win any money, you don't lose any money, but you can affect the story somehow. Whether it's you're spending so much time there and you make buddies with somebody to stay in the hotel for free tonight, or I don't know. How would you like to affect the story?
Well, could I? Maybe not. They may have seen the person that I'm looking for, and not really. They couldn't really tell me where he went, but he got on something like a coach, give me some inkling of an idea that I need to be going to.
Ah, okay. Sure. So, in the midst of playing this game, whatever your game of cards or your dice or however you're wanting to plinko it, you end up overhearing the dealer's like, I thought you looked familiar. I had a gentleman come in here, gosh, I just thought he looked so similar to you. He had this mark on his face, though, and he said he was, he said he was traveling north to Nebraska. Don't know what it was, and let's be serious for a moment. I really don't know why anybody would want to go to Nebraska. I mean, it's bad there.
Oh, well, thank you.
And at that response, it doesn't come across as too much. He goes, "Wait, do you know what's happened to Nebraska or Nebraska?"
Oh no, but I'll let you know when I go that direction.
Sir, you don't want to go that direction. There's rumors that there's some weird monsters, like the well, the that uh, well, you know the Manitou. That they say that Nebraska is overrun with Manitou.
Well, that may be, but me and that particular fella have a meeting.
Well, you just be careful, sir. It'll however you plan on going there, it's going to take you some time. The shortest distance is going to be to go north and grab a boat and cross over to Tulsa, and then go to the far northwest point of Tulsa, cross over into Nebraska. That's the closest way from here. But sir, I just be careful. That those Manitou, those are demons.
Well, thank you. And I'll just go and pick up the rest of my stuff and put it up and walk out to see whatever. I got my information.
Cool. So that evening, all of you except for Russet are able to get together.
Anybody see our furry friend?
I mean, my guess is he probably stayed at the shop to try and get that taken care of. Oh, we found green weeds.
Yeah, and a very interesting business proposition from my new friends at the Mercury Corporation.
Friends?
Yes. You heard them. They're my people.
I don't think. Really?
Okay, well, they're people that I want to take money from, but it's whatever.
Mm. Yeah. I think we should probably stick to seeing if we can't find. Oh, it turns out one of the McGillicuddy's in town, and it's not even Mikey. Something we found out from his friends is that David's in town too.
Speaking of McGillicuddy, I seen a boy that I says for some reason reminded me of Miss Tilly, and because I'm not really familiar with the people from that general location. Other than eviscerating three of its sons. I give a description of of the boy that I saw. To Malone, of course, because his name's not Malone, is it? Caleb, your character's name Malone. Oh God, dang it! I'm getting everybody's name wrong today.
Once upon a time, I was a Malone.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh yeah. Wrong character, wrong game.
Oh, I forgot about Malone.
What is your character's name, Caleb? So I remember it.
Monroe.
Monroe. Thank you. What's with you and naming that people after famous people? I describe this boy that I seen out on my leisure sunbathing out in the out in the general populace to Monroe, because I mean,
So based on the description, I think whether it be a good description or otherwise, I think Monroe would definitely like jump on it and say, yeah, that's him. Yeah, so my guess is at least we know that he's here. He should. I mean, it seems likely if he came here, he's probably looking for family. And if he's looking for family, David's is, I guess it's his first cousin. It's one of his mom's cousins. They said he's got, I haven't ever actually met the guy, but the description from Green Weeds that we got was he had this red auburn hair with a big beard as well. My guess is that if we can find one, we'll find the other, and we can warn David.
Yeah, either way, it'll be profitable. I mean, we'll be able to help someone.
well, yeah. I tell him, I tell Monroe where I was, because me, and I tell him about how long ago it was, time wise, and exactly where I was at when I seen the boy. That way, if Monroe is actually more capable of talking to folks than I am, then maybe he'd have a better chance of the people around there seeing him than me, or finding that kind of stuff out.
Yeah, I think he would take this information with a plan on what to do the next day.
And there, the image that we fade out from is the group sitting around talking, throwing around the plans, and then starting to plan on how they're going to. Sounds like we're going to work together to find Michael as our first hard lead for our next game. And from there, it then fades back in, and there's Russet putting on the last touches on this whole finished robot. He puts down his tool, reaches behind its ears, presses, and it keeps fading in right onto that thing's face. It pauses, and then you watch the eyes light up. So guys, thank you for playing tonight. And our next game is not in 2 weeks, but in 3 weeks. For those of us in the States, it's May 7th. So I don't remember which side of the date line you fall with us. You're a day ahead of us, so it'd be May 8th for you, Matt.
Yeah. Either way, I'm good.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Well then, thank you guys so much, and I will see you then.